homebistro.com. Freshly prepared, home-delivered, restaurant-quality gourmet meals delivered straight to your home. Choose from over 50-plus gourmet meal options cooked by world-class chefs and delivered frozen, ready to eat within minutes and no commit. Welcome to the one-shop gourmet food delivery, specializing in affordable options to eat right and feel great. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Every ingredient is handpicked to the highest standard. And why you should buy from homebistro.com? Restaurant quality, made with natural ingredients, delivered right to your door. Overnight shopping is available. Diabetic, paleo, heart health, and vegetarian options to eat. Doing business since 1999. Courteous, knowledgeable, and professional support. Complete PCI compliant SSL security ordering, and great meals. Choose from some of my favorite dishes: the Mediterranean chicken with orange honey sauce, the charbroiled chicken romesco, or the grilled chicken breast with sweet and spicy vegetables. No matter what you choose, you can't lose with homebistro.com. Eat great, feel good, and save some money with homebistro.com. Hit the link in the description section below for more information. Located in Henderson, Nevada, bulksupplements.com supplies over 400 pure nutritional supplements, ingredients to hundreds of thousands of consumers and manufacturers. All of their products are available from grams to metric tons through their online store at bulksupplements.com. Orders received 4 noon Pacific Standard Time ship the same day. Their FDA-registered CGMP manufactured and distributing facility has a staff of over 60 full-time employees that take pride in providing excellent customer service and producing quality products for their customers. The wellness of the community is of the utmost importance to Bulk Supplements. It's dedicated to maintaining all health code and government regulation. Each supplement is tested in their in-house laboratory before distribution, ensuring that all products are safe for consumption. For any additional testing, they utilize reputable and vetted US-based independent labs. Customer service is available 7 days a week from 7:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time through live chat, phone, and email. Bulk Supplements products are produced in an FDA-registered and inspected manufacturing facility. So, if you want quality supplements at a quality price, Bulk Supplements is the company for you. Bulk Supplements, clean and pure bulk supplements. Check the link in the description section below for more information. TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Who That family, check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. So check out the Pro Shop and Who That too.
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, who that nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is say Super Bowl. Yeah.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
It's obviously different. What did you guys do differently? How many people did you send, and what did you have to cut out because of the way they're doing it differently this year?
Yeah, we have it's a limit of 10 per club, and so we've got our 10. It's our primarily our college scouting staff and myself, Jeff Ireland, some of our area scouts, and then our national scouts as well. So that's a little different. We don't typically, if available, the coaches are all here with us. We bring a big contingent because of the proximity, and then we want to support Mobile and support the Senior Bowl as well. But this year, because of the COVID restrictions, we're limited to 10 people.
Next one's from Rod Walker.
Hey, Mickey, not just Mobile, but just scouting in general this season. What have been the challenges of just trying to scout during COVID?
Yeah, it's been a tough year for our college scouting staff because they've been very limited in what they can do. They can't really do any on-campus visits this past year, so they can go to games, but really they're limited in the sense that they can't go into the football offices and visit with players and coaches on-campus visits. So that has to be done, virtually, or in a lot of film study as well. So it's been considerably different.
Next one's from Fletcher Mackel.
Hey, Mickey. Obviously, I know that this offseason will probably be a little different given Drew's situation. Do you go in different paths of a plan if Drew returns, a plan if Drew retires? Just how do you take the early offseason knowing that he's still pondering that decision?
Yeah, I don't think it's a lot different than last year, in that we'll wait. We'll wait for him, but look, we've got a lot of other planning to do. Look, there's more unknowns right now than there are knowns, in the sense that we don't yet know what the cap's going to be next year. Even a narrow range we don't have yet. So we've got a lot of planning to do. We haven't completed our evaluations, our roster evaluations from last season. So at this point in time, there's more unknowns than there are knowns.
Next one's from Amos Morale.
Well, you kind of touched on my question just now. I was going to ask you where you were with the roster evaluations and if you guys had identified positions of need.
No, we're not anywhere close to that. We're going to meet next week and begin that process of evaluating the roster. And again, until we get through that process and then understand exactly what resources we're going to have available to us, we really haven't got an action plan in place yet.
Next one's from Ed Daniels.
Mickey, how important is it to retain Trey Hendrickson, and is he a big item for you, so to speak, in the offseason?
Well, look, Trey had a great season, a breakout season for him, and obviously he's going to be an attractive free agent for anyone. But again, that's all part of the planning process. Part of that has to do with, certainly we would want him back, but I can't really say, how strong a play we can make for that until I understand, where the cap's going to be this year. And as we go through the roster evaluations and start making our choices.
Next one's from Mike Triplett.
Mickey, I know you guys have a pretty good record against the salary cap over the years, even when people think it's going to handcuff you. But is this a more daunting situation, or is it? I mean, do you envision that you're going to actually have to pick some players on the team that can't be with the team because of the cap, or what's your outlook on it right now?
Yeah, I think this. Look, for sure, it's going to be challenging, and yet I don't want to speculate as to how challenging it's going to be until we have a better understanding of what's going to be available, not just for this year, but even for the year after. So I can't really answer that question other than to say, yeah, it's going to be daunting. I think it's going to be daunting for a majority of teams in our league.
That's Mickey Loomis, y'all. Big ups to the great Saint Think Tank. We're in this thing. Big ups is General Manager Saints GM Mickey Loomis is breaking down what we need to handle, man. Big ups to the great Saint Think Tank and the Sports Coma, man. We in the building. Big ups to the family members. Thank y'all for chiming in. This installment of the Sports Coma. Much love to you guys. Thank y'all for being here on today's show. I'd like to thank all the beautiful Black and Gold family members and say who that. And like I customarily do every show, or try to do, by starting the show off by saying welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. Of course, I'm Big Q, and you are the great Saint Think Tank. The best of the Black and Gold Nation is represented well here in the building. So much love to all the family members. Thank y'all for being here on today's show. I appreciate y'all for stopping by, dropping by. Please hit upon the like button and subscribe if you aren't a subscriber. Join the great Saint Think Tank. We keep it real in the battlefield here, baby. So big ups to all the family members. Thank y'all for being here as we go through all of the latest news and notes. So we'll start off by giving the roll call. GM Kev, who that to you, and the family members. Thank y'all for joining us. Cameron, who that to you. Tramal Kellop, who that to you. Jerry Paul, who that to you. Torrey Shepard Sr., who that to you. Tech Saint, who that to you. Who that for life, who that to you. Who else we got chiming in this thing? Simply Tasha, who that to you. The Truth Hurts, who that to you, fam. Good to see you in the chat. All right, SPB, D7, who that to you, fam. What's up? CT Crusher in the building, who that to you, fam. Good to see you as well. Big ups to you, KB. Who that to you, KB? Who that to you? Who else we got chiming in? Rob McCoy. What up, Rob? Who that, bro? Good to see you in the chat. Who that to you? Trey Joseph. Who that to you, fam? Good to see you, Kai. The Great. What up, Kai? Kai said, if this is for Drew, Breeze, are the Saints in the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, or do you really trust Jameis Winston to take over? Well, my raw and keep it real analysis, bro, and the best of my ability going through this stuff is I ultimately think the scenario plays out where Drew steps away from the game. I think Drew Brees retires. He's been beat up pretty badly this year, and a lot of people still banging on him. And I understand the frustration banging on Drew. But listen, fam, let me tell you something, bro, to keep it real about Drew. You can't call Drew anything but a guy that keeps his promises. He played under a lot of bad circumstances, meaning his injuries. We later found out that Drew was dealing with several issues pertaining to his health from his shoulder, the rotator cuff in his shoulder being an issue. He had a torn muscle in his foot, broken ribs, 12 of them from two separate games that occurred, a collapsed lung, all kind of stuff going on with Drew Brees. I've not known a season, except for the year when he tore up his shoulder diving for that ball in San Diego, that I've known Drew Brees, and he's been through some stuff, to go through all of that and still come back to guide the team to the playoffs, unsuccessful as it may have been. But a lot of that is not truly on the aging shoulders of Drew Brees. Most certainly it is not. A lot of it ties to a lot of different factors, and I covered it before. I don't want to get too much into it right now, but that's what I'm talking about. He shoulders some of the blame, but certainly not all of it. But my analysis is that Drew does retire. He moves on from the game. He goes and do something that don't get him tore up, and ultimately, we have decisions to make as far as Jameis Winston is not a member of the Saints right now. He's an unrestricted free agent. And if you took a look at the unrestricted free agent list, he's one of the, if not the most attractive of the free agents on the free agent QB rosters right now. I mean, if you look at the free agents right now that's out there quarterback wise, we're not talking about the trade scenario QBs where you have Deshaun Watson, Sam Darnold, and guys like that. I'm talking about the unrestricted free agents, guys like uh, Tyrod Taylor is on there, Cam Newton, Jacoby Brissett, uh, Fitzpatrick, all these type of dudes. You know, that's most certainly not a good looking group. Jameis is definitely at the top of that group. So there's going to be, if Jameis comes back, and I'm not saying that he doesn't, but ultimately if he does come back, it's not going to be at an issue where you're going to get him for cheap like you got him for $1 million this year, this past season. Now you're going to have a bit of competition. And then the question is, how much competition? If you do you contend with? If somebody gives him a 3-year deal worth a couple, worth more than what? If they give Jameis Winston a 15 to 25 million dollar deal with 3 years on it, do the Saints match that? That's the question. And then, of course, the only quarterback starting caliber in terms of who's been here, that's really a fact is you got a guy like Taysom Hill, who has 16 million coming to him this year. So you got to look at the narrative and the fact that Coach Payton loves Taysom Hill. He really does. He believes that he can make him. He called the man Steve Young. You know what I mean? He didn't use that lightly. I thought he was just bull crapping, but he's not bull crapping. He really believes that about that man. He believes that he's Steve Young and he's going to go about the business. 16 million's on the books of trying to make Taysom a quarterback. Does he trade for somebody else? We'll see a lot of measurables right now, but the Saints, of course, like several dozen teams in NFL, are flush up against that C-19 cap, and a lot of stuff have to be made in consideration. But you heard Mick and Loomis, who's charged with doing a lot of the responsibilities of that, shaping the outlook of the team, saying that they don't really they haven't been able to get so much of stuff done. They haven't done a full roster evaluation to find out who they want to bring back, and they haven't set the actual cap until the year is over with, till it's officially done in 2 weeks. Then they set the cap at that. So we'll see how it all shakes, man. And it's interesting to say the least, But if we want Jameis back, I think we'll have to pay. You will not get a discount for Jameis Winston. You will have some competition trying to land him. So I hope that answers your question about Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. We'll cover that in the show, Kai. So just wait patiently by my friend. We'll cover that in today's broadcast. Okay, big ups to the rest of the family members. Appreciate y'all being here. Please hit upon the like button as you get into the stream. Please hit the like button. Rob says Breeze needs to make his decision by Super Bowl Sunday. And of course, and that's true, Rob. Good point, because we don't want a scenario where it dragged on like it did last year. But ultimately, I believe that Drew was gone. Sean Payton begged him back. And of course, they begged him back to get Taysom back. Now, this flies in the face of what Sean Payton says about his quarterbacks around this time frame. And I've often cautioned y'all about this. I presented receipts on screen, facts, and then even gave the narratives and time frames of what happens around this time of year when we start talking, when the coach of the New Orleans Saints start talking about the quarterback position. A lot of misinformation, a lot of double speak, a lot of that goes on right here, right about now. So I just caution people to be very, I want to say, use your critical thinking around this process, dealing with it, because they can go in several different directions, man. But Taysom appears to be the forerunner of the job, monetarily speaking, and in several other different ways, if you think about it. Thank you, Rob. Appreciate that. Cameron says, I thought Drew Brees was going to retire. Brees did not retire. I will be very surprised. He's tore up, man. He's tore up. I can't possibly see him getting back up in there with all that stuff going on. And I'm going to tell you something. He's going to have another issue health-wise, another injury he going to get in the offseason if he say he going to come back to be the Saints. And it's going to be from his wife, because she will break his damn jaw. Then they're going to be the off-season injury report. Drew has a broken jaw. Where did he get that? He got that at home.
Because if he make that decision, boy, Brittany gonna knock him in the next Tuesday. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. All right, big ups to you. Trey Joseph, who that to you? And all the rest of the family members chiming in this thing. Abraham, what's up, fam? Chiming from Cali, my dog Abraham in the building. Dr. Key, what's up, Dr. Key? Who that to you, fam, as well? Big ups to you. Joe Gidry, what's up, Joe? All right, big ups to you as well. Big ups to all the family members chiming in this thing. Much love to y'all. KK504 and 404 ladies in the building. What's up, fam? See, I'm driving home, but I'm listening to the Sports Coma on the road. All right. Good to appreciate your support and much love to you. Brian Pearson, who that to you, fam? Good to see you as well. Swag fan in the building as well. Big ups to the family members. Kelvin Washington from Phoenix, Arizona. What's up, Kel? Big ups, bro. All right, much love. Rob says Drew will cost $20 million. Yeah, I know, Rob. It's ridiculous, but that's what Super Bowl or bust mean, fam. That's what it means. Big ups to the rest of the family. Charles Winston, I see you, Charles. Who that to you, fam? Let me see. It jumped on me. I hope I ain't missed nobody right there. All right, let's see. Who else we got in there? Kelvin says Sean Payton needs to give up his play calling. I'm with you. Something has to change because we keep losing. We need to have a fresh approach. Does he have the discipline? Does he have the clairvoyance? Does he have the confidence to say, I'm going to rely on somebody else to call the plays and see how that shakes, at least for 1 year, Coach Payton. Give it up for 1 year. You've been calling plays 10 plus years. Let the damn coordinator do it. That's his job. Let Carmichael call the plays. You oversee the team. Get your notebook out that you used to have when you used to write stuff down when people would screw up. Get that back out, Coach Payton. Head coach, Coach Payton, not offensive coordinator. We don't want offensive coordinator, Coach Payton, no more. We need head coach, Coach Payton. That's what we need. Head coach, not offensive coordinator, Coach Payton. No, we don't need that. All right, who that? Original Hot Boy 504. Who that to you, fam? As well, big ups to you. All right, all right, Kai say, hey Q, I need that hat player as soon as possible. All right, it's an official Sports Coma black and gold diehard Sports Coma hat, man. They got as you can see, it has the Saints flag, and they got the fleur-de-lis here for where the stars will go. It's black and gold fleur-de-lis, and of course that Sports Coma design, our special shield logo on it. You can pick one up from you. The ladies is for the ladies, it's for the fellas. If you go to the Pro Shop, the link is in the chat, and get you one, fam. Go ahead and get you one, man. And they come in different colors, I won't say too. So if you don't like the black and gold, you can feel free to get another color, but they're available at the Pro Shop, link in the chat and in the description section below. And remember, family, all purchase that happen at the Pro Shop goes back into the platform. It helps us to be able to produce more shows, do more videos, have more of an outreach. It helps with a lot of stuff. So we're totally self-funded. So if you want to help us out, join the YouTube membership, join Patreon, and also or shop at the Pro Shop. All that stuff helps. Sharing the links as well. Whatever you can do, it helps out. It'd be much appreciated. All right, and let's keep going. Big ups to the rest of the family. Don Duck, what's up, fam? Don Duck 4444. That's a good number. They appreciate you, Don Duck. Who that to you? Trey says we currently have the best wide receiver room in the NFL, but I trade Mike for OBJ. I don't know if I want OBJ, bro, because that's issues. A lot of people tired of Mike Thomas. They think he's overpaid. Swade will tell you that 8 ways from Tuesday. He ain't gonna pay him. I know, I hear you, Swade. I appreciate you. But the deal is Mike did earn his money. Elvin demanded his money. But if any year that you wanted to make a move, like to get a special player, a wide receiver or a running back, like say, for instance, I'm not saying this is the case, but if you wanted to get another running back because you felt like you can trade Alvin Kamara and get away with it, not saying that that's what you wanted to do, but I'm just using that as an example. There's a guy out there named Etienne who comes from Clemson who is a absolutely fantastic running back. The guy is awesome. If you ever watch Clemson play, matter of fact, Etienne is from Baton Rouge. He's from down here. He is absolutely, and Clemson got him. LSU was trying to get Travis Etienne. They was trying to get him, but he decided to go to Clemson. He is a fantastic running back. Let me tell you what, baby. And you can end up getting him. You might be able to land him at 28 if that's what you want to do. Move up, get some picks, free some money. And like I said, people not really dining on Mike Thomas. He had an off season, so it's off it's easy to kind of downplay Mike Thomas because he ain't look good this offseason. He did what he could do. He didn't look that well in the playoffs. He had surgery, to repair things that was going on with him, so he wasn't totally healthy all season long. And factor that into it, fam. When we talk, it wasn't like he was totally healthy. He was dealing with injuries. He had to have off-season surgery as soon as the year ended. So just take that in consideration. Why people don't live up to expectation. Maybe they're dealing with injuries. We know Mike was dealing with it. We know Drew was dealing with it. So when they're 100%, when they're not 100%, you don't have to be 100%, but when they're healthy, relatively healthy, there are difficult matchups. And he's going to come back super pissed off this year. I just would ask Mike, please stay off Twitter and just focus on your craft, sir. All right, let's move on. All right, Trey says, thank you for that, Trey. Kelvin says, Torrey, everything is good, bro. Okay, just talking. Seth Griffin, what's up, Seth? Who that to you, bro? Appreciate you. Brian said there are 2 guys on the New Orleans Saints team that might be leaving. We'll save $1 million on cap space. A lot more than that, bro. And when it's all said and done, you're gonna see a lot of restructuring, some releases, releasing, maybe a trade or 2 here or there. We'll see. It's gonna be very eventful. Iceman, who that to you? Say, I don't like this one bit. Please let Drew leave. It's up to Drew. They're leaving it in Drew's hands. I played the piece earlier today to start the show with Mickey Loomis. We'll see how it goes. Big up to Nola Boy 9. Who that? He says, no, Q, don't do that, bro. You too real for Drew. Heard us. He said he hurt us bad. He threw some interceptions, bro. Listen, I'm not giving excuses for Drew. Let me just make that certain, bro. But I am going to talk the truth, bro. I'm going to keep it real to you. And I factor a lot of that in there when I say what I'm saying. But this is by way, no shape or form, making excuses for Drew. Drew was hurt this year, but at the same time, that don't got nothing to do with you throwing interceptions. I agree with you on that wholeheartedly. Drew threw some interceptions in that game he shouldn't have thrown. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback. Hall of Fame quarterback, he's got to play up to that level when he's in the playoffs because that's when it really counts. Hall of Fame guys supposed to come out in the playoffs where that level is supposed to magnify great players and supposed to shrink not so great players. In the playoffs, it has something to deal with that pressure dynamic. So I agree with you. He did hurt us in the playoffs. Jared Cook hurt us in the playoffs. The defense hurt us in the playoffs. Play calling hurt us in the playoffs. Several different things hurt us in the playoffs as well, but I will not take blame away from anybody that deserves blame. Certainly, if Drew gets all the credit in the world, he most certainly going to get the blame too. So I agree with that. Thank you, Nola Boy 9, for throwing that out there. Tyrese, who that to you? Good to see you. All right. And all the rest of the family members, thank y'all for being here, man. I appreciate y'all. Brandon Reese, what's up, fam? He said it would be nice if Saints had enough to trade for Watson. We'll cover that today. Tex Saint says, let's hold on. Let me see. It jumped on me. Tex Saint. Oh, man, I lost it. All right, I lost it. It just jumped on me, fam. I just lost the statement. It jumped on me. TJ Scottzilla, who that to you, fam? Good to see you. Adrian, who that to you? Adrian. Lori, who that to you? Lori, good to see you. J Rock, who that to you as well. Tyrese, what's up, fam? Says BQ, I don't see Jameis beating Tom Brady 2 times. Saints gotta understand we need a QB that can win games. Brady in the NFC South. If Jameis, our QB, we not beating Tampa. Thank you, Tyrese. Appreciate that. All right, who else we got chiming in as well? Brandon Reese, he said, I don't think Drew coming back. I am agreeing with you. All right, Rob says, Brittany about that money too. Don't get it twisted. I know, bro, but they got all the money, bro. He's worked, though. He got over $300 million from the Black and Gold organization. He's worth over $100 million right now. He got several successful business. Bro, they got it going on over there. I know they're about that money because nobody who's not about that money would not pile up 100, 300, 100 million plus worth of net worth. That's up there. So you're absolutely right. They are definitely about their money. Let me tell you something. All right, let's keep going. Big ups to Gloria and Alexander. Gloria and Alexander has followed us via Facebook. Thank you, Gloria. Appreciate you. And welcome to the show as well. Big ups to Simply Tasha, who that to you. Let's see, Kyle, who that to you, Kyle. Gundam. What's up, Gundam? Who that to you as well. Big ups to you. Good to see you in the chat. And all the fantastic Black Gold family members, listen, I appreciate y'all for being with me on this Thursday night. And please hit upon the like button. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Larry Williams, who that to you. Uncle Paulie's in the building as well. Thank y'all all for being here on this Thursday edition. Now, in my Bill Cosby's voice, let's try to get into some of these news and notes. Family, we're gonna go over this. I'm gonna hit the break, come back, and for the summation of the team, we'll go up until about 9:30. Actually, right before 9:30, We're gonna break it off about 10 minutes before 9:30 tonight. And I'm gonna, after I get done, I'm gonna open up the lines for go to the middle of the break, in the middle of the show, push that toward the back end of the show, and then we'll start getting into covering some stuff. So uh, that's the fantastic thing about this today. And I'm opening up the chat for communications. I'm post the link so people can chime in after I finish covering the news. So once again, please hit the like button. If you hadn't hit the like button, please subscribe if you aren't a subscriber, and please hit the bell and all that good stuff like that as we get ready to go. We're gonna start it off by me sharing my screen, and we'll get into it. So give me just a second. There we go. All right, we're gonna start it off. Of course, this was when we started off in the show with it, and this is coming from Yahoo Sports and several other media outlets covered this. The Saints haven't heard from Drew Brees about retirement. GM says we'll wait for him. Now, this is pretty much what the show is about what Mickey Loomis is saying about waiting for Drew Brees to come back. My understanding of it was, even though Drew signed a multi-year deal with the Saints, a 4-year deal, which basically 2 years of the deal are phantom years, which is the 2 back-end deals. He was done last year. Really, Sean Payton asked him to come back for 1 year until they got Taysom ready. Well, you played Taysom a lot this past season, so Taysom should be ready. Drew should be allowed to go into retirement peacefully. And several years from now, Drew can put on that Hall of Fame jacket. Let him start his Hall of Fame march. Let him retire. That's important. He's a first ballot Hall of Fame. Drew, listen, it don't make any sense for you to keep doing this. Your body can't handle up, and I know your spirit's there, but listen, man, you got your ass kicked this year. Let's get into the article here from Liz Rocher. Before Brees and Saints lost to the Bucs in the divisional round of the playoffs, there were already reports that he was likely to retire at the end of the season. That came from Jay Glazer, by the way. No matter how it turned out, it's not the first time Brees has considered retirement, but after a season plagued by serious injuries and a dismal performance against the Bucs, the 42-year-old seems closer to hanging it up ever. He hung it up last year. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate you, Lisa. Lisa liking a live stream, I want to say from Facebook. Thank you, Lisa. Appreciate you, as we're simultaneously broadcasting out to several big platforms, including Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. So thank you, Lisa. Appreciate that. Much love to you. And who that to you, Lisa Bullet. Big ups. All right, let's keep it going. All right, let's see. Brees may seem close to retirement, but almost 2 weeks after the Saints offseason ended, everyone's, including the Saints, still waiting to hear any official or even unofficial news about his decision. Now, see, this is problematic in my opinion. This is problematic in my opinion in more ways than one. And the reason why I say that is because the issue is we just wanted Drew for 1 year, according to what Sean Payton told us. There should not be a consideration unless Drew really showed that he can handle the rigors of playing in the NFL game. Drew's 42 freaking years old, man. Why are you still waiting for a 42-year-old quarterback to tell you whether or not he's going to retire? There should be a plan in place to automatically move on to Taysom Hill. So listen to me, I'm a tea leaf person, family. I got a bit of a detective mentality. Like if you go to the crime scene, it's not going to tell you he did it. No, you got to be able to put the facts together, do some research. You got to go look under the bed. You got to get up fibers, have it analyzed. You got to look over here. You got to go through the phone records, whatever you need to do to get to the bottom of what happened so you can, catch whoever did it or get to the bottom and get the answer to the situation. And this was the type of football forensics we need to do here when we're talking about stuff like this. Now, the mere fact that we're waiting for Drew to retire, even though Sean Payton says he just need him for 1 year until Taysom is ready, well, if that's the case, then that job has been served. The second thing is, what does this say about Taysom Hill as a quarterback if the general manager of the team is waiting for him to decide on whether or not he's going to retire or not before Taysom gets an opportunity to control the team? You see what I'm saying? These are, this is football forensics here. And as the football forensic person, we have to be able to look at everything, the facts here, and say, well, that's kind of strange. Sean Payton would never lie to us, of course, obviously. Everything he says he does the majority of the time, correct? And so if this is indeed the case, Why are we waiting for Drew Brees? Why, if we only asked you for 1 year, Taysom is Steve Young. Why are we not letting Steve Young be the quarterback if that's the case? So that's interesting. It also kind of shines in the face of Jameis Winston as well. Because obviously, does Jameis sign a contract to come back to the Saints if Drew Brees comes back to the Saints? Does he then say, I'm going back to the Saints 1 more year if there are competing interests out there that's saying, Jameis, you're unrestricted free agent. There's nothing the Saints could do to pull you in except for to lure you in with the prospects of possibly being the franchise quarterback in a competition with a guy that the coach already favors. He favors Taysom Hill over Jameis Winston. He does already. So he's biased toward Taysom. Taysom has the money. Taysom has the coach's ire, even though he respects Jameis, but he gave the playing time to Taysom. He said Taysom, Steve Young, and Jameis is Jameis Winston. Well, there's no comparison from a football standpoint if we're talking between Steve Young and Jameis Winston. Come on now. I mean, come on. But I'm just giving you a brief insight on what Coach Payton is saying and his insight on these players. I know you guys see it differently, but Coach Payton sees it a lot differently than what we do. So just bear that in mind. Just let that maul around in your head. Let's call that football forensics. Let's let that hang on it. So let's continue to the article. We got a lot of planning to do. There's more unknowns right now than there are knowns in the sense that we don't yet know what the salary cap is going to be next season. Even a narrow range we don't have yet. So we've got a lot of planning to do. We haven't completed our roster evaluations from last season. So at this point in time, there's more unknowns than there are knowns. And that's true. Season's still going on right now. Another couple of weeks from now, it'll be over with. They'll set the cap. We'll know exactly how much money we need to get down so that we can get back up, whatever the case may be. But if you look at it from some of this stuff could already be worked out by using football forensics. We can look at it and say Trey Hendrickson doesn't come back unless he gives the Saints a sweetheart deal to come back and play for them. Bottom line, Trey Hendrickson is a bit of an he's a bit of a rare find in the fact of the matter of what I'm saying is I couldn't get the damn word out, but what I'm saying is he's a bit of a rarity because obviously, he never did this before. He had 13 and a half sacks on the season. That's the first time that he's done this in his entire career. The rest of the years have been mediocre years where he was injured, where he flashed promise, but really kind of didn't do his thing. So people will look at this year and say, that was just, fool's gold. Can he do that again? And obviously, his chances he could, but he's priced himself out of New Orleans. Several other players are going to walk. It's like Marcus Williams. He'll be a guy that'll be able to hear. And then a couple of veterans that we have, we'll have to wither their contracts down or outright trade them or release them. That's the bottom line. There's not much, we can do. But at this point, off-season, the Saints don't even know what the position needs are going to be with or without Brees. You don't have to do a, what you call it, what Mickey says, evaluations. We've done evaluations, Mickey. If y'all haven't done them, the Sports Coma has done evaluations on the team, and we didn't have to wait to the season. And we constantly doing evaluations on this team. We can tell you, even though the ceiling and the floor where that cap could possibly fall at the end of the year, there's some flexibility and some gray area in between the floor and the ceiling where you can be able to put together a plan and simply adjust it when you need to, when you get that hard data. But you can have a projection because that's pretty much what all this is anyway. When you go into the scouting report, these are projecting. These scouting reports are mere opinions of players by scouts. They're projections of what they think this player is going to be at the next level based on what they're witnessing or based on what their area of expertise or the mind frame or the football IQ of the person observing them and if he can able to verbally, not verbally, but be able to, articulate that in terms of writing it down and putting out a very precise and concise, accurate scouting report on the players that they're looking at, like even at a Senior Bowl, that could be the case. So all of this is projections. There's nothing wrong with projections because projections then can become concrete data as, based on as more information comes in. As more information comes in, then you can be able to quantify what you're doing. So at the end of the day, we've done the evaluations, to be quite honest with you, on the team, and we can tell you with certainty a lot of these players are not coming back. They're not. Loomis doesn't envision the Saints rebuild. I mean, people say, Q, do we rebuild? you don't have to rebuild. It depends on the mentality of the team. Is Taysom the quarterback, or are you going to go get a veteran guy? You're going to trade for a guy, or you're going to draft some guy. It simply depends on the outlook of what the quarterback position is. But if Mickey Loomis, who's the general manager of the team, is waiting for Drew Brees to come back, that puts Taysom in a limbo. That put Jameis and Winston in a limbo. Does Jameis Winston comes back to the team knowing that Drew Brees is coming back? I say no. He played that game 1 year. You think he comes back and do a Teddy Bridgewater when they got teams out there competing for his services? Is going to be offering them 2 or 3 year deals for money in a position to start somewhere? And the best the Saints could offer is a backup situation. And of course, Jameis knows that he is going to be the backup to Taysom in the competition for the QB job coming into here. So if there's an attractive destination, let's say, for instance, the Indianapolis Colts say, we like Jameis Winston. Let's bring him up there. Jameis is going to come in as the favorite to win that job as opposed to the second favorite to win a job behind the Taysom Hill, or if Drew stays. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of ramifications in this situation. There is no way, shape, and form we should be waiting for Drew Brees to make up his mind on if he's going to be a Saint next year. You have access to the medical reports. The Saints have the access to the medical reports because a lot of this is done by their doctors. So they got the real meat and potatoes on the medicals, the medicals that know exactly what Drew dealing with. I promise you there are injuries that's on his medicals that they haven't told us about. I promise you that. They have a history of hiding these injuries. We didn't know about Drew's shoulder. We didn't know about Drew's ribs the first time. You didn't know about him breaking his ribs until he broke his ribs again. And then that's when it came out that he had broken ribs already. But you better believe the black and gold knew he had broken ribs already before we did. He had a torn shoulder muscle in that rotator cuff issue, and they were saying he had a short shoulder. You remember that? And he had the magnetics on there to help him heal. Remember that? And of course, later it came out that he had a torn muscle in his foot. See, you didn't know none of that until his wife revealed that. See, that information came as a result of his wife's tweet. The Saints didn't tell you that. They didn't tell you about these multiple injuries. They hid that back. And I'm telling you, the trend is as well is that there are injuries that he's dealing with that you know absolutely nothing about. So with that being said, not just one injury, but he's dealing with several injuries that are crucial injuries, which lend me, plus the insiders like Schefter, the insiders like Glazer, and these guys are rarely wrong, are saying that he's due to retire. But waiting on Drew sets a bad, just makes it look bad to me if I'm Taysom Hill. And you told me last year, that's why I say you can't trust Peyton in the offseason talking about quarterbacks, because he did this. He's got a record of spinning misinformation to quarterbacks, telling Taysom he's the future, but waiting on Drew, which the same guy he asked to stay for 1 year. I'm just documenting this because y'all remember just like I do. But anyway, that's the first one. Saints haven't heard from Drew Brees about retirement. GM says, we'll wait for him. No, that's not, man, listen, no. We have to be proactive in this approach. And if we're trying to move the team into the future, you can't hold on to the past. And I kept saying we can't turn into a bunch of who dat hoarders. That's what we becoming. We becoming a bunch of who dat hoarders. This man's 42 or whatever it is, years old. He's played 20 years in the league. He's given you a bunch of good years of service. He's proven this late in his career he can't take you there. He's proven that this last game. He's proven you in the playoffs. We've been imploding. Drew can't do it, man. So as a result, you got to move on to somebody else that can help out in the process. And then people hitting them with the Drew Brees can't throw the deep ball. Well, let me tell you what. You tear up your rotators. You tear up your rotator cuff. You get broken ribs and see if you can push the goddamn ball down the field 40 plus yards. I'm telling you, this is real deal, Holyfield. Any of those injuries we get, you ain't going nowhere. You're not going your ass to work. You're not going to drive a car. But then again, we don't have access to them super high commercial, extra industrial strength shots that they give you, the numb pain so bad that you can throw a football and you got broken ribs. That's absolutely insane that they would even warrant such a thing. That's ridiculous, man, if you think about it. Let's move on to the next one. I spent enough on that one. After the trade request, Saints must make a run at Texans QB. This comes from the Saints Wire. And Sigler, big ups to him, does really good articles, says that, we got to do this thing. Well, let's look at what he's saying. Long expected news of Deshaun Watson requesting a trade from the Texans is going public. Saints should at least call and see what it would cost to pry him away from the reeling franchise. Now, we covered this article several shows ago. We was breaking down what it would take multiple first-round draft picks, perhaps other picks as well later on. And, to get that done, the Saints are 28th picking. This team is looking to give up a franchise quarterback. They're going to want a franchise quarterback. Unfortunately, you don't have a franchise quarterback on the team that they will want. They were not going to take Drew Brees, even if he decided to stay. They're not going to do that. So, what do you give up? You're going to have to give up multiple first-round draft picks, and of course, your $80 to $100 million or plus over the cap doesn't make sense, does it? But let's see what he's talking about. All right, Watson's gripe is with Texans leadership and team owner Kel McNair. This isn't a relationship first-year head coach David Culley is likely to mend. But one thing, most crucially, Watson's contract includes a no-trade clause. That means he will choose where he goes next. Very smart man. No matter how many draft picks lowly teams like the Jets throw at Houston, if Watson doesn't want to play there, he won't have to. No trade goes through without his permission. Smart man. It gives an opportunity for the teams like the Saints to get in the running. They can offer Watson what he wants in terms of a proven head coach and a strong supporting cast, even if they lack the draft capital that other teams have compiled. Now, sure, the Saints doesn't have Watson. Sure, that doesn't mean Watson would be a cheap pickup. The Saints would still have to put up multiple first-round picks on the table, and maybe a player, a blue-chip talent like a Laddie Daddy or Ryan Ramczyk. I'm against both of that. Comes to mind, but franchise quarterbacks don't become available often, and acquiring someone as gifted as Watson is going to cost more than we expect. It wouldn't have cost you nothing but one pick if you'd have took him several years ago when you had an opportunity to. Just saying, all these quarterbacks, and we talking about, maybe I can mention 3 of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL currently playing, winning quarterbacks, good young quarterbacks are out here doing some really good things, 2 of them are playoff quarterbacks, one of them not so much, but that's more so on the team not being complete, him having a thorough group of skilled players around him, a decent offensive line. Of course, I'm talking about Watson, but all of them. From Patrick Mahomes, the Saints had an opportunity to get that same draft. When they was picking Laddie Daddy, they could have moved up and got him. They didn't have to sit there and wait for him to fall to him. Also, Deshaun Watson was a move the Saints could have made to get him. The Lamar Jackson move. The Saints actually moved up, trading with Green Bay to move to that position. And I thought when I was watching that draft that the Saints made a trade to move up to I forgot what position it was, 24th or something, maybe 18. I forget, y'all remind me. It all starts to blur all together when you talk about draft. And they moved up there, and I was like, man, the Saints moved up there. We're going to take Lamar Jackson. And they took Marcus Davenport. And I was like, who? But that's the history that they have. It's really ironic that we would talk about trade multiple picks for a quarterback that you only had to, make a move to get before. It's just really crazy. We had access to all these super duper quarterbacks, and we just let them go. We don't have a surefire plan on how we're going to replace. We've had years, family. This Drew's been down here for years. He's been down here for over 10 years, and we never put together a solid franchise quarterback plan to be able to move beyond Drew really efficiently like Green Bay did when they moved from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, or like they about to do, moving from Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. You see that? They're not a bunch of Green Bay hoarders up there. They know that this player, Brett Favre, has given us all that he can do. Let's move to Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, to a great degree, outshined what Brett Favre did. He created his own legacy that made people forget about Brett Favre a great deal. And now they're about to do it again, moving on from Rodgers to Jordan Love. See, that's how you're supposed to do it. You don't supposed to sit there and Green Bay going to hold on to Brett Favre. You see what I'm saying? That's not how it's supposed to work. You're supposed to understand that they're on the minus side of their planned potential, and they're not going up any higher. They've already topped out, and now with all the time attached to them, they're sinking fast. And remember, Father Time is undefeated. So with that being said, man, we had access to all these quarterbacks. We simply blew it. Salary cap account for Watson is affordable too. He's only on the books for just under $16 million in 2021. His future cap hits raise as the Saints expect to share the dead money from Drew's deal whenever that actually happens, while they're being respectful to Drew and preaching patience and letting him announce his decision to return or move on. They can't let that get in the way of possibly landing Watson. They can't bet on Taysom or Watson. Winston, I'm sorry. Jameis Winston suddenly erasing all of their flaws either. And while trading a package of, say, 3 first-round picks, really? Consider how the Saints invested their last 3 first-round picks. Cesar Ruiz, which we really didn't need Cesar Ruiz. I said that. We could have used that pick on, on Pat Queen. We could have used that pick on a young defensive back. We could use that pick on a young pass rusher, knowing that you was going to lose Hendrickson. Why not take a first-round draft pick defensive end that you can mold because Cam is getting up there in age? Remember that? You could have done multiple things besides take a center who you wasn't going to play at the center position. You were straight with that offensive line. You didn't have to take a center there. And who takes a center when you got a Super Bowl or bust team? And it was really Ruiz who hurt Drew. And we said that when they drafted him, like, man, you're going to put this rookie on the offensive line with a quarterback who doesn't move well. And I said, listen, if you're going to put Ruiz there, play him at center, because you play at any other position, he's not that good at guard. He's not, he developed into, he did well later on, but he's a center. He ain't played guard since he was a freshman at Michigan. So, it was just really weird. And then one of the plays that really hurt Drew was a play where Ruiz got beat bad. The guy basically suplexed Drew ass into the ground, busted him up pretty bad. We lost him for a month because the guy beat Ruiz, and we called it. But that's simple because we knew that you can't necessarily do that. I would have not tampered with that offensive line. I would have went in a different direction. But I understand that you wanted to get a cheaper piece there, which then again, I don't understand because instead of you got rid of Larry Warford, which you're saying he was making too much, but he had 3 straight Pro Bowl appearances. He never done that before, but he had 3 straight Pro Bowl appearances. And you was talking about he made too much money, but his backup made $7 million. He made $8 million, but you wanted to get rid of the starter and then keeps the backup's ass and the backup not better. I just didn't understand none of that. But it happened. It is what it is, right? So Ruiz was the first-round pick this year who couldn't win the starting job at right guard. Great point. And the pick trade and the pick traded to move up in 2018 to select Davenport, who's been injured, inconsistent, and too often unproductive. That is a fair analysis. And there's no guarantees that Saints hit on the future picks in the first round, whereas Watson is a proven commodity. So here's hoping the Saints at least put themselves in the running. This is the sort of aggressive move that can define the next era of football in New Orleans and ensure a smooth transition from Breeze. But as I pointed out, they're hardly in the best position to pull off a blockbuster trade like this. With so many options available at quarterback, this offseason could be the most exciting we've ever seen for the Saints. So, yeah, it is true, but it doesn't look good when you wait for Drew to come back. And you should look at his medicals and say, man, listen, Drew done all he could do. There is no more than what Drew could do. And I ain't meaning a rhyme like that. That's just how it's coming out. He's done all that he can do, and there's he's done all that he can do, and it's nothing longer that Drew could do for you. I mean, it's just serious. Simply. Keep it real. Let's not be who that harder. I respect Drew, but let him get on that Hall of Fame march. The moment he says he retired, he's on that clock to get in that Hall of Fame. And let me tell you, when he's first eligible, he'll be a first ballot pick to get in that Hall of Fame. Let him start that Hall of Fame clock. That's what he need to be concerned about right now. Let's move on to the next one. Thank you, Garrett. Appreciate you, Garrett Keefe. Who that to you, Garrett? Appreciate you chiming in on the other stream. Much love to Garrett Keefe. Big ups, fam. All right, thank y'all. Please hit the like button, family, for those who hadn't hit it. I appreciate Garrett. Much love to you as well. So New Orleans Saints candidates for the vacant tight end position. This is coming by way of this Canal Street Chronicles. Big ups to those guys over there. Saints saw an unprecedented level of coaching staff turnover this offseason. They're not done yet either. Former tight ends coach Campbell is now the head coach of the Lions. Secondary coach Aaron Glenn joins him as the team's defensive coordinator. Assistant GM VP of Pro Personnel Terry Fontenot is the general manager of the Atlanta Saints. And quarterbacks coach Joe Lombardi is the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. But everyone starts reading into any bleeding from the scenes. Coach Payton has been active and deliberate steps in offseason to retain certain staff members. Bill Parcells' influence on Payton's coaching methods has been long discussed, but perhaps the best displayed in his philosophy of cultivating and retaining coaching staff. I can agree with that. Just hopefully some of the running of potential, which it did large part this year, really surprised me that he ran the ball more than he did in a long time. So let's continue that. When Peyton was assembling the Saints coaching staff in '06, he tried to poach Tony Sparano from his former mentor. His request was blocked. He was also a personal receipt. He also has a personal receipt of such efforts. Peyton was awarded full freedom to interview head coaching roles while employed by the Cowboys. Parcells basically talked him out of the Oakland job. In doing so, Peyton was retained by the Cowboys. He received a new contract, a raise, and a promotion to assistant head coach. Same thing happened to Nielsen. Sound familiar? Peyton employed nearly the same exact tactics, right? We're getting Nielsen, right? There's a clear philosophy of striking the proper balance between continuity and allowing assistants a continuity and allowing assistants to seek out the promotions they deserve with the right organization. The emphasis on the latter part is paramount. Now, all that said, nonetheless remains the voids to be filled for the coaching staff position as displayed in efforts to retain and reward Nielsen. There's clear desire to promote internal, when possible. Let's go through the Saints' top internal candidates to replace each respective role, starting with Campbell. Now, the tight ends coach is, I'm hoping I'm saying this man's name right, Declan Doyle, Saints assistant, offensive assistant, named to this year's American football coaches, 35 under the 35 list. Doyle joined the Saints staff as an offensive assistant in 2019. Prior to New Orleans, Doyle served as an offensive student assistant at the University of Iowa. From 2016 to 2018, he coached tight ends until 2016, running backs and fullbacks in 2017, and tight ends and fullbacks in 2018. Doyle also served as QB signal caller on game days in 2017, 2018, further assisted in the weekly creation and implementation of the game plan in his final season. This is a good call right here. Declan Doyle, Saints offensive assistant. When Campbell also held the assistant title in New Orleans tenure, he brought vastly more experience to the tight ends coaching role, which was a great group, except for Jared Cook's patheticness. A former NFL tight end himself, the 11-year veteran joined the Saints staff in 2016 after serving as an interim coach for the Dolphins prior to his year-long stint. Campbell has served as the team's tight ends coach since 2011. So Doyle could be a good guy. He has NFL experience. And coming into this thing, and Coach Payton could promote from within. So we'll see exactly if Declan Doyle would be your next tight ends coach. We'll see how that shakes moving forward. Now let's keep it going. Let's see. That's just one of them here. I think that was it. That story. I think they're doing it in parts. So this is the first one, Dylan Decoy. We'll probably cover more of the other positions later on. Let's move on to the next article. Saints add top safety in Mel Kiper's mock draft. Now, what's interesting about this, and this is coming from Canal Street Chronicles as well, Saints add top safety in Mel Kiper's mock draft. A lot of people have the Saints taking a linebacker. I don't know what the hell is that. Don't ask me about that, family. I don't know why, and why in the hell people keep attributing linebackers to the Saints. I don't get that. The Saints already have Demario Davis under a 3-year deal. They already drafted a guy in the 3rd round to come in and play as well. So, I mean, why are you still picking linebackers? And even if you spent the 1st round draft pick on a linebacker, the Saints don't spend enough time in a 4-3 defense. They don't. They play a modified nickel defense, 2 linebackers. Why would you waste a pick on a reserve linebacker when you play most of your package of 2 linebacker sets? I don't understand that mentality. That's why I was rejecting a lot of these bullcrap mock drafts that I see a lot of these so-called experts putting out there. That is not a need, a 1st round need for the Saints. It's not, linebacker is not a top line. It's not a top-notch need for the Saints. There's several other impressive needs. Secondary is one of the, it's got to be secondary, is the top need for the Saints going into it. You look behind guys like Laddie Daddy and Jack Rabbit that missed several games this offseason. I mean, this past regular season. And then PJ Williams is a free agent, thank goodness. Patrick Robinson has a year left. He has constant hamstring issues. He's constantly a fixture on the rotisserie rack. And behind him, Ken Crawley, and there's nothing established. Why not look at a cornerback there? That makes more sense. And even a safety, because you know you're not bringing Marcus Williams back. And if you look behind there, you can say, okay, we re-signed a guy like DJ Swearinger, but you really want a young guy there as well moving forward. So you say, well, Q, we could put Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back there. I would like that. But sooner or later, you're going to have to do something with the secondary. You're going to have several picks to add talent to the secondary. You have to. There is no growth in the secondary. It's behind our top 2 guys, there's rotisserie cornerbacks. That does not, they do no good. But this is one I can get behind and agree with Mel Kiper. I guess he paid the guy. But in recent years, it was not an unknown to see the Saints draft the same position, sometimes even the same player. And remember, we drafted the center last year. The Saints most certainly did not need a center. We could have used Pat Queen to pair next to Demario Davis. Could you imagine that pairing? But we took a center, and that's when you really kind of, you really feeling yourself when you do like that. Now, we'll see how Cesar does in the second year. I think he'll be fine, but that was a pick that we could have waited on making. And there were several really top-ranked centers that was there that could have waited to the later rounds that we could have picked up. But with that being said, I don't understand why these people keep trying to get a Saint linebacker when we got Zach Bowen sitting up there. You think they're going to just leave Zach Bowen as a backup? No. They want a linebacker that can come in. And, of course, people talk about Quan Alexander. I mean, he's a guy with multiple injuries as well. You can't really count on Quan. Quan got to show me like Trey Hendrickson showed me that he could beat the injury bug. So you can't really count. So Zach Bowen is the man. You take a pick there, you got to rock with Zach. You got to get him up to speed. Let's get back into the article. In multiple mock drafts as the offseason progresses, don't expect that to be the case this year. In Mel Kiper's most recent draft, the ESPN's insider, Kiper acknowledged that the uncertainty surrounding the Saints' draft needs come from the time New Orleans is on the clock near the end of the first round of the 2021 draft. In this draft, he has the Saints replacing a key player on defense. He takes a center, and I've watched this kid's tape. This guy is a player. But Trevon Moehrig is a safety from TCU. It's really hard to project what the Saints are going to do because their offseason is in flux. They don't have any salary cap to make moves. There are some of their pending. These are some of their pending free agents. Marcus Williams gone. Trey Hendrickson gone. Jameis Winston could be gone. Jared Cook most certainly is gone. Sheldon Rankins, somebody going to get him. PJ Williams, I hope he's gone. Stay gone. And then, of course, Drew Brees ultimately waiting on whether he should retire. He should retire. Start that Hall of Fame clock, Drew. Now, Moehrig is is the top safety on the board, according to Kiper. He would be the successor to Malcolm Jenkins. He has 6 interceptions over the past 2 seasons. Again, though, his pick is more about projecting for the Saints' current needs, which could vary different in April. Now, safety is a good move because Marcus Williams is not coming back. They need a safety back there. Now, people say put Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back there, which I wouldn't be upset against that, but being that he played so well at the nickel position, it's hard for me to envision the Saints will move him out of the nickel because he fits that role perfectly. Move him to safety, which I would really rather see him at the safety position. He has the brain, the aggression, the fearlessness to play the position. He's a great tackler. He's a smart player. I would love to see him at safety. But I do not see the non-imaginative Dennis Allen moving him out of the nickel role and putting him at safety. I would see more of them drafting a safety and putting them there. They're not going to address it in free agency either. Draft is probably the best way to do it, and I would be for them drafting a safety, most certainly. The Titans also add players to the offensive side of the ball. There's also room to add offensive players there. The Saints could look to draft a tight end. Why would you draft a tight end, man? I mean, you have Josh Hill still on 1 year. You got, you could draft a tight end later on, I guess. Wide receiver, you got enough wide receivers. Cultivate and grow Deontay Harris, Marquez Callaway. You have several really interesting wide receivers. I'm saying even so much that maybe we can move on from Emmanuel Sanders and his $8 million that you're going to pay him this year and start cultivating Callaway, especially Deontay Harris. Deontay Harris should be the complement to Mike Thomas. He is ready to start. And we should have Deontay Harris there, Marquez Callaway, who has speed and can catch and size. And we can start building those and grooming those guys to start them. They are ready for action. So think about that. And, of course, offensive linemen and Kiper. And I can see offensive lineman or offensive tackle if you get rid of Tyron Armstead and then go cheaper, pay Ryan Ram, get rid of Tyron Armstead, pay Ryan Ramczyk, moving from right tackle to left tackle for the blind side of the quarterback, and then draft the right tackle, a high approach tackle is some move I could see a Peyton doing. I can see him doing stuff like that as well. And, that is the thing. But if you ask me, you got to look at the secondary. We need youth in the secondary. We need that youth. We got an old Malcolm Jenkins back there. We got a Jackrabbit that's in his 30 years old, even though he's playing a really good football. But you can only expect him to decline, even though he had a fantastic year. But he's an older cornerback. You need young depth behind these guys. So I'm a fan of Trevon Moehrig from TCU. Getting a safety there, period, if you can land it. We need that type of player. And, of course, let's look at some of the potential Saints cap salaries. This is coming from Fox 8. Sean Vazan. While the exact amount of 2021 salary cap has not been set, it's reasonable to expect it to be a 90 to 110 million over the salary cap. To get under that threshold, the Saints have work to do. They'll restructure 7 players to create space, and they'll extend others, but there's no way to avoid the roster purge on the way. Here are some candidates who could become salary cap casualties. All numbers from the overthecap.com, which is one of my favorite resources outside of SportTrack. I love using SportTrack over the cap, but that's still a good resource for this type of information. Got Tommy Morstead, no doubt about it. This is an easy one. Tommy Morstead's definitely out of him. His out of here. The replacement is Blake Gillikin, who was there already. The Saints put him on the IR. Was not really nothing was wrong with him. They just stashed him there. Morstead is, he's been a mainstay, but if Drew goes, Morstead goes too. How about that? Since 2009, he's been down here, and I remember the Saints used several picks to move up to go and get him out of SMU. He's a fantastic Hall of Fame first ballot punter, in my opinion. The best punter the Saints ever had, and one of the best, if not the best punter the NFL has ever seen, in my opinion, was Tommy Morstead. I mean, this guy's foot was basically like an arm. It's like he was throwing the ball down the field into the red zone, inside of the 20-yard line on most of his puts. He was absolutely awesome, a great Saint. He's a terrific community dude, excellent punter. He struggled this year, but the Saints knew the writing was on the wall with Tommy Morstead early on. He struggled early in the season, shanking punts. I mean, you could see age just drastically took control of him big time. So Gillikin on the roster, the Saints looking to get him off of here. And you combine that with his $4.5 million cap hit, Morstead could be a candidate to be cut. He would save $2.5 million by doing so. They paying Blake Gillikin and food stamps, used trash bags, and old gas money. That's pretty much what Blake Gillikin's making compared to Morstead. You don't think they make that move? You're going to see in a minute. Quan Alexander, this is definitely going to be a cut move. The Saints are not going to pay him no $13 million. No doubt about it. They're going to cut him and then, ultimately try to re-sign or restructure him on a cheaper prove-it deal, which is good and bad. The bad is he's got hurt. The good is the fact that the Saints can get him back on a cheap prove-it deal that won't severely impact the cap. And of course, you can have him as a member of the Saints team next to Demario Davis. Of course, Zach Bond to fight for that job to get that. But of course, Quan has to prove that he's healthy enough to get that job back. I mean, this is a lot of injuries for this young linebacker. So let's get into it. A long history of injuries. Torn Achilles ended his season. He's carrying a $13.4 million cap hit. Given his contract is restructured, the Saints could save $13 million. They're going to definitely make that move. This is a no-brainer. The Saints could also work out an extension if they want him back in black and gold. A cheap, prove-it one-year deal you can give him a 2-year deal with the option, with a team option on the second year. A cheap 2-year prove-it deal just to see if he can live up to being able to stay healthy. It's been a tough role for Quan Alexander. He looked terrific in the Saints defense. I would bring him back on a cheap prove-it deal. Cornerback Janoris Jenkins. Jenkins will turn 33 years old. I just talked about this. And will carry a $14.2 million cap hit. Jenkins has been a good addition to the Saints secondary opposite of Laddie Daddy. He's tied for the team lead with 3 interceptions in 2020. But given his age and cap number, he could be on the chopping block. Releasing him would save the Saints $7 million. That's why I was saying Jack Rabbit played beautifully this year, but you got to expect his play to start teetering off. It has to start declining because age does play a major factor in it. He had several injuries last year, and anticipate that trend continue. He's a solid running back, but based on what we know, that's why I said the Saints have to look at drafting and getting guys in there. And of course, you're going to have young rookie guys in there, but they're going to have to learn the ropes sooner or later. A restructuring of Jack Rabbit got to happen because I would rather keep him and try to minimize that turnover because you're going to have to bring rookies in there, but it's good to have Laddie Daddy and Jack Rabbit together. So he's an instant person for reconstruction on his salary, restructuring that salary, definitely, to make it feasible to stay. Defensive tackle, Malcolm Brown, the true nose tackle on the team. Great run stuff and tackle. Does push the interior line too, but the Saints have depth at it. Brown is carrying a $6.5 million cap hit. Cutting him would save $5 million. Instant player for restructuring of contract. Jack Rabbit and Brown are 2 guys you seriously restructure. Jack Rabbit provides that veteran ability. He gives you room while younger cornerbacks can develop underneath him. Malcolm Brown also could be kept at a cheaper deal. He wants to stay, and you don't have, even though people like Shy Tuttle, they like all these other guys, Malcolm Roach, those are really good players. But listen, they're not a nose tackle. These are tweener type of guys. Malcolm Brown is a nose tackle. He stops stuff. He commands double teams. You know, you don't want to lose that type of player. Losing him for the few games we lost him, the Saints got gashed up the middle. And we had Roach, we had Shy Tuttle. We had those guys there on Yamada. Sheldon Rankin, you still got your ass busted. That should show you something. So restructure Brown, bring him back on a cheaper deal, and keep him. I like those two, Jack Rabbit and Brown. Especially on the defense, you want to keep those guys. They play well there. Guard Nick Easton, you got to get rid of him. 3 concussions last year. Serious concussions. The Saints just put him on the shelf. And plus, cutting him, they should have cut him last year. They should have cut him as opposed to, I ain't going to get into it. But it is what it is. His cap number, cutting him would save the Saints $6 million. You don't think the Saints do that? You can sign James Hurst back for $1 million like he signed this past year, and we giving Nick Easton $6 million. But complaining about Larry Warford getting, they say 6, it was 7. And then complaining about Warford's $8 million, even though he's a triple Pro Bowler in the same year after year after year. But get rid of his 8 to keep Easton 7, even though he was a backup. Didn't make any sense. Totally ridiculous. But hey, it corrects itself this year. Cornerback Patrick Robinson. Y'all know how I feel about this. Robinson brought depth to the say, oh, come on with that bullshit. He must be paying this guy. But at 33 years old, as best days are clearly behind him, he keeps having hamstring issues. Constant hamstring issues. That's a result of you not stretching properly. You got constantly getting hamstring issues. That's time for you to go. This cap number is almost $4 million. Are you kidding me? Releasing him will save the Saints 2.6. Hasta la vista, Patrick Robinson. Wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders. A lot of people won't like to hear this, but I just told you, Deontay Harris, Marquez Callaway, Jawan Johnson, the rest of these young wide receivers that we have, they deserve the right to be seeing more time, especially Callaway, especially Deontay Harris. He does have the propensity, if he gets stronger, he could be a Tyreek Hill type of guy. He has that speed, that elusive ability. He's a good catcher of the ball, really smart player, tough as nails, needs to get a little tougher. Got injuries conducive because of the fact that he was playing special teams, would not play him on special teams. Deontay Harris should be your deep threat going forward with a quarterback that can utilize him the best. Stretching defenses, opening things up from up underneath. Deontay Harris is my pick. He should be starting next year for the Saints. Now, of course, for that to happen, you got to get rid of Emmanuel Sanders, who showed up big, but he also has a big cap number. And it was a Super Bowl or bust. You got busted. Why keep Emmanuel Sanders when you have higher ceiling players there? And I agree, Sanders is a great addition with Mike, but the reality is you might have to restructure him to keep him. If not, you might have to let Emmanuel walk. This is tough, but that's the reality of this stuff. A certain case to be made for the Saints to keep Sanders around. He had a solid debut and could help the transition with a new quarterback. However, 34 years old in March, carries $10 million cap hit for next season. Cutting him will save the Saints $4 million. Extending him is possibly adding avoidable years. You restructuring, he's a candidate as well. So let's add Emmanuel Sanders. Because I would, you can restructure Emmanuel. But my thing is, if you're trying to move into the future, new quarterback, why not use these younger wide receivers? They don't cost as much as Emmanuel does. They don't have that experience as well. But sooner or later, you're going to have to make this move. And the reality is he's 34 years of age, 1 year left on his contract. Would you do that now or would you do it later? That's a decision that people have to come up with. But cutting him will save $4 million. Extending him could ultimately help you as well. So, but it does fly in the face. Would you get rid of Emmanuel Sanders to open up time for Deontay Harris and Marquez Callaway? Those guys have proven that they're ready to play. So, with that being said, of course, our final article is 3 up and 3 up down for the Senior Bowl practice day as well. Covering that one day in Mobile. This is the Saints are having scouts out there. Mickey Loomis talked about that as they're out there in Mobile, Alabama for Senior Bowl. And of course, Saints are allowed to have 10 people out there, 10 people at the meetings according to the C-19 restrictions. Mickey talked about that. And who are some of the players that we could be looking at? Well, they mentioned a couple of them. Jamie Newman, a Wake Forest quarterback. Now, the Saints don't get all twisted and look at and talk about quarterbacks. Oh, they scouting quarterbacks. The Saints scout quarterbacks every year and don't pick nobody. They scouted Mahomes. They scouted They scouted Deshaun Watson. They scouted Lamar Jackson. They scouted Jalen Hurts. They scouted several talented quarterbacks. They ain't even come close to picking. They ain't even look in their direction. And the only quarterback they took was which is a guy in the 7th round, which they traded to get back into, only to release his ass to the team they was trying to keep him away from. Didn't make no sense to me, but it is what it is. But and my question was, why are we drafting? Excuse me. Why were we drafting Taysom Hill clones and not Drew Brees clones? I just if we want clones or talk about clones, right? Why would you draft a Taysom Hill clone when you could draft a Drew Brees? I just don't understand the logic. Oh, he's a Taysom Hill clone. Well, you tell me where you stop me when you find a Drew Brees clone, then I'm interested. Because Taysom is a good player, but he's incomplete. So drafting a Taysom Hill type of person right now with his athleticism is cool. But listen, man, you know, if you want to clone somebody or talk about drafting clones, go draft somebody that's a Hall of Famer. Go draft a Drew Brees clone, please, or a Patrick Mahomes clone, or Aaron Rodgers clone. You know, draft somebody that's done some shit. All right, let's keep it going. Wide receiver Austin Watkins Jr. from UAB, another guy that they talk about. They're looking at Jamie Newman and all this kind of stuff. Another person that they're throwing up here in the article. He came into the week really looking forward to the wide receiver group. Names like Florida's Kadarius Toney, South Carolina's Shi Smith, LSU's Racy McMath. Also, like these are seniors there as well. So they like Austin Watkins. This guy, he runs good routes. He has a good burst. He catch the ball. Very good wide receiver for them out of UAB. And remember the last time we took a guy out of UAB? Remember who that was? Could anybody put in the chat the last wide receiver we took out of UAB? Could anybody? It took that guy years to show up. Years to show up. All right, next one they're looking at Aaron Robinson. Now, anytime you start you talking cornerback, you're talking my kind of game. Because the Saints definitely need secondary help. That is question. They need cornerback help. Aaron Robinson from Central Florida, although Florida was wide receiver Kadarius Toney, locked absolutely unstoppable until he met UFC cornerback Aaron Robinson. When they locked up the first one-on-one, Robinson stood up to the challenge and got physical right away. Yes, some urged flags on different areas of the play, but the fact of the matter is that Robinson stood up on a big challenge and didn't look back away. Then he went on to make several more plays against the talented wide receivers as well. So Robinson is the guy that the Saints should be looking at. And of course, they're talking about offensive lineman Aaron Banks, who's another talented guy. A cornerback Cameron Bynum from out of Cal. Quarterback Mac Jones out of Alabama. And I caution you to draft quarterbacks out of Alabama because the question is it them or is it the system? This is another question. If you look at the mock drafts, Mac Jones is falling in drafts because people seeing the success that quarterbacks are having in Alabama and they're attributing it to, and of course we ain't gonna talk about Tua, because Tua, you throw it in there, he was a first-round draft pick for Miami. But outside of that, you would look at it and say, hey, man, is it the system or is it them? Unless it's an extraordinary case where you can see that the player has immense talent, like in the case of Tua. But I'll be cautious drafting any quarterback out of Alabama, seriously. And recent draft history is showing you that case. That quarterbacks that usually come out of Alabama tend to struggle. I don't know what it is, but a lot of people are cautious on taking Alabama quarterbacks. Y'all tell me what other quarterbacks, Alabama quarterbacks that are currently starting in the NFL besides Tua. Because I can't call anybody right now. Tua is obviously the standard for those guys. So with that being said, we're going to go over a quick synopsis of it as well. We covered Saints haven't heard from Drew Brees about retirement. GM, which is Mickey Loomis, says, we'll wait for him. Should that be the case? That's the question I pose to you guys. Should we wait for Drew Brees to say, I'm going to retire, or be proactive in our approach to move beyond him, even though we requested him to stay 1 year so that Taysom could get ready to take on the job? So all of a sudden, it's now morphing into Drew. If he wants the job, he can keep the job. That's not what it was supposed to be. So you see, this is, once again, is crapping on Taysom Hill, who they told it was his job. This is the same thing I kept telling people. A lot of people listen, some don't. But I kept telling people about this factor that we do this every offseason to quarterbacks. I don't know why we can't play it straight with people, especially at the quarterback position. Taysom was supposed to be the heir apparent. This is coming from Sean Payton. And then later on, we tried to sign Teddy Bridgewater back in that same time frame. Then we begged Drew to come back until Taysom got ready. Well, Drew did that. His time is he can move on now. Taysom, the job is yours. He got the money. No other quarterback on the roster currently. And Jameis Winston is an unrestricted free agent. So he could very well get paid by somebody else and lured away to another team. I keep telling y'all that. If you don't believe me, go look up the free agent quarterbacks for 2021 and see what they're saying about Jameis Winston sitting on top of that crop. He is the most attractive, if not the second attractive option of quarterbacks on free agency, because the rest of those guys are not guys that that can compete with him in that capacity. We're talking about Cam Newton, a used up Cam Newton, Jacoby Brissett's there, Fitzpatrick from Miami's on there. We're talking about Tyrod Taylor's on there. Come on. Jameis Winston is head and shoulders above the rest of those guys in terms of a team looking for a quarterback who they won't give a 2 or 3 year contract to. Question is, if that happens, does the Saints match that? If Drew stays, does he say, I'm gonna stay with the Saints on a multiple year and pass up a multiple year deal with another team giving him the starting position? I mean, it's just a lot of this stuff creates the perception, and it makes you look like, you look like you're a liar. Now, I can't say, no, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but you keep telling these quarterbacks things and then you're going back on it. Drew Brees was only supposed to stay this year. He's supposed to go off into the sunset and start that Hall of Fame clock. And it was supposed to be Taysom Hill team. I'm saying this is not me wanting this. This is what I'm just merely reporting to you what Sean Payton said before this past season started, because that's where we getting this information from. So we'll see. Also, Deshaun Watson, we covered that. We talked about this. We could have drafted this guy. We could have drafted him. But I'm just saying, man. Of course, we talk about the candidates for the tight end position. We also went over Mel Kiper's call for a safety for the Saints in the upcoming draft in April. We also covered the news of several players that could be cap casualties. And we also went to the Senior Bowl with several prospects the Saints could be looking at heading into this upcoming season. So with that being said, we'll now bounce into the mainstream now. I'm going to give a shout out to the Great Saint Think Tank. That was a lot to talk about. And big ups to the rest of the family members chiming in on the show today. Much love to y'all. I appreciate y'all being here in the building. Big ups to you guys. And much love to all the family members on this thing. So with that being said, family, we're going to forgo the break and then we're going to get right into the chat aspect. And for the next hour, we're going to open up the chat and I'm going to fit in as many people as I can, so that we can be able to get your questions, concerns, so you'll be able to get us. So I'll take an hour worth of calls and then we'll move on and we'll shut the stream down. So it won't be a long stream on this Thursday. Of course, I will return Friday. I took a break on Wednesday's show, but we are definitely going to be back on Friday, and we'll open up the phone lines for a longer summation of the show, and we'll be able to open up and have a 4-hour show like we did last Friday. And of course, Black Suede will join us on our Friday show. So we'll keep. I think he will. At least that's we'll confirm and make sure. But with that being said, just give me a second, and I'll drop a link in the chat so the family members can chime in, and you can get on questions, concerns, or comments. Feel free to pop in and let me know how you guys feel about it. Just give me just a second. Let me get this link for you guys. So let that be the question to the family members. What do you guys think about waiting for Drew Brees? Who that to you, Eric? Good to see you, fam. Who that to you? Tex Saints says, BQ, they can't move on with other QBs because Peyton and Brees' relationship, they're too close, which hinders the team from making decisions that's best. But see, that's a major problem, bro. It's not like he's transitioning into death. Well, I can't let him go. If I let him go, Q, he'll die. No, Sean, he's not gonna die, bro. He's gonna. Well, I guess some people, when they say retirement, when you're gonna retire, some people use retire as another word for retire is you're gonna die. Maybe we shouldn't use that word. Preston, big ups to you, Preston. Thank you, Preston Bales, for hitting a stream. Preston W. Bales. I hope I'm saying your name correctly, Preston. Much love to you, my friend. Appreciate the like, man. Appreciate you. and much love to you. Who that to you? All right, but listen, great point, Tech Saint. Great point there, man. Is that you have to think about it. We have to be able to at least let the man go and move the hell on. I mean, come on now. Let's move on. I mean, because the reality is that's selfish to keep him on the team. He obviously has a physical limitations that's preventing him from doing the things that he once could do. It's time to move on from Drew Brees. When did we become who that harders? And it's not, we ain't talking about the great Saint think tank. I'm talking about the goddamn administrators. You got Mickey Loomis sitting up there talking about he gonna wait. You gonna wait, Mickey? Yeah, man, Q, we gonna wait for him. But I thought Sean Payton said that, that we was gonna move on. We was gonna, it's just 1 year to get Taysom ready. When did we decide we're gonna wait for Drew? When? When did that happen? But he also said in the interview that we didn't have an opportunity to come up with any evaluations. I'm like, hold on, how you not coming up with no evaluations, bro? How? How you not coming up with an evaluation? The entire Who That Nation is evaluating. My goodness. Oh my, please don't be a freak. Don't turn this into a freak show, Mickey. Don't do it, man. Or we ain't even look at the roster evaluation. Well, you need to be paying attention to the Great Saint Think Tank and the rest of the Who That Nation, because that's all they talking about right now is roster evaluation. I mean, my goodness, man. We should have a plan to move beyond Drew Brees. You said, Coach Payton, that Taysom Hill is Steve Young and that you wanted Drew to come back for 1 year so that Taysom can get ready. Well, 1 year has passed and Taysom should be ready. So with that being said, while we wait for Drew Brees to retire, for what? Why? It should be Taysom. Taysom got $16 million on the contract this year. Sean Payton called Taysom Steve Young. It should be Taysom's team. Now you see what I'm talking about. Y'all see what I'm talking about? When I be laying it out here, people say, Q, you just be stretching on that. Stretching? Are you kidding me? I'm not stretching a goddamn thing. The reality is people have to come out that what you call that type of thinking. That I ain't gonna say it's normalcy bias, but whatever that predictive ass thinking that they have that was cultivated by the team's media personalities or the media's propaganda that preaches that you're supposed to be 100% supportive of the team. If you ain't 100% unquestioning and total loyal to the team, then you're not a true this person or that person. Who told you that? Why? That's the mass programming of the team, teaching you to be 100% supporter. Don't engage in no rhetoric that has something to do with challenging the narratives of the team. Just be 100% dumbass fool. Don't question nothing they do. And even if they screw up, say that they tried their best. You hear what I'm saying? Are you that type of person? If you're not, then I'm happy you're here. But if you are, I want you to open up your mind and listen to why we keep losing in the playoffs. It's because sometimes, and you got to look at the predecessors that came before you became a Saints person. There were people that was on this team before you were born that was here being Saints people. Why the team winning now is because those people put us on their shoulders and they demanded more of the team. They just didn't sit there and just put up. They put up with it for a while and they got pissed off and said, we're not supporting you anymore unless you start winning. You know what they did? The team got serious and started hiring real coaches. The team got serious and started getting real players. The team got serious and started hiring real everything. And when they start winning, the people say, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And the support went up even further. But when you start with it winning, you set a barometer, you set a mark. And this is the new floor. This floor was down here, now it's up here. It's like after your ass got ran out of here by Hurricane Katrina floodwater, your house was sitting on the ground. Well, now that you know you in the flood zone, you gonna keep building your house on the ground? If the water gonna keep getting it? No. You're gonna elevate the house up to here, and that's the new flow. Why? Because there are dangers down there that the old environment wasn't a flood, but with the raising waters and all this other stuff, you had to adjust. And now you're here, and that's where you need to remain. And then ultimately, you'll go from here to up here, and you'll maintain it. Now, let me address this before I open the Great Saint Think Tank up. And I know the family was chiming in as well. I want to also say quickly about people that's calling the Saints people spoiled. Now, listen, I don't know if people know what spoiled means, but when you set a bar high, and let's say if you got a child that's a B student, Let's say that child fell down and started making C minuses. If that child is a B and A student, would you then say that that child is spoiled because they're getting A's and B's? You would not dare say so. Well, anybody with good sense would not dare say that. They would not dare say that. They'll say, well, why are you getting C's and D's now? We got to get you back up to A's and B's, but you ain't spoiled to A and B's, are you? No, because that is a standard. That is a standard that you hold your intelligent children by. And you know when they're slipping underneath their standard, is you're supposed to keep them on their standard and build from that standard upward. That does not mean they're spoiled. That does not mean that. And to even further prove my point, do they have such a thing as being spoiled? Could you be a spoiled person, or you are, well, we losing a lot? Well, we spoiled to losing. Would you ever say that? Would you ever say that? Would you ever say that we spoiled to losing? Would you ever say that? You would never say that. When anybody with sense would never say that. You know why? Because nobody would say something that foolish, because they realize that people have standards. It's like my ladies out there. My ladies are not gonna go out there and go date guys. If they like guys and they dating guys or dating gals or whoever you dating, you're not gonna date nobody with no teeth in their mouth unless you like that kind of thing. One of the things is you got to have teeth, because she ain't gonna want be sit up there kissing on you and you all gumming everywhere. Come on now. If she wants you, you got to be able to have some teeth. You know what I'm saying? At least, the very least, and I'm aiming pretty low on that. But they have standards. And would you say to that lady out there, hey, sister, you spoiled to that kind of guy? You wouldn't dare tell her that, because there are standards here. Standards. And you can't be spoiled to something that is progressive and that is strong. You're supposed to constantly be in a state of ascension. The moment you are descending, you are dying, you are losing. And when we going down like this, we learn, but ultimately you got the God to go back up. Life is a constant state of ascension. You have to keep ascending. And when you're not descending, you are going the opposite way, and you ultimately going to be going to a place where you don't want to go. When we say that in terms of health, if you got this descending health, you ultimately can lead you to your demise. And we have to ultimately be in a constant state of ascension. That is true. That is 100%. So I'm challenging the rhetoric on people keep saying that people are spoiled because they demand for their sports teams to be winners. That's ridiculous. Winning is what you're supposed to do. No coach sets out, if he crazy, if he right in his mind, nobody goes out unless he paid off for control, start losing games. His mission is to win games and get ultimately deep in the playoffs, and the main goal is to win a Super Bowl. That is what we're supposed to be doing. Nobody, if you got a coach like that, fire him instantaneously, because nobody is supposed to have a coach that is the guy, well, listen, I'm just trying to get a loss. I'm just trying to get a loss. No, it's standards, people. We got to have standards, man. Who that nation has standards. We play for big blue chips and we demand more. Like I used the flood analogy. If your house is in a zone where it's flooding, you're going to elevate that house where you're tired of losing your possessions, tired of losing your pitches, tired of losing all your stuff over and over again to flood water. You're going to elevate that house if you're trying to stay there. Trust me, I'm from New Orleans. Some of them houses stand 20 feet in the air. And guess what? The truth is, in another 20 to 50 years, you might have a movement. Listen, the water is, that water ain't going nowhere. The water is rising. The levee's going to have to go higher. That's how it's going to go. So, that's just commonsensical stuff right there. But I'm saying, I'm challenging the narrative on people calling people spoiled. You can never be spoiled to success. What kind of rhetoric is that? Like, you can't be spoiled to losing. If you can't be spoiled to losing, then why can't you be spoiled? Success is what you're supposed to be as a person. You're supposed to be successful in everything that you do. Failure means that you're on the wrong side of it, and ultimately, you're heading to a place where you probably gonna get fired. If you're on a job and you keep screwing up some kind of way, the people gonna get rid of your ass. You got to be able to succeed the majority of the time at whatever you're doing. You're gonna have some 9 successes. You're gonna have 9 successes. And during those 9 successes, you gotta then tweak some things, figure out some things so that you can get back to the success. That's what it's about. We on a plane of success. You better be on a plane of success, because if you're on a plane of failure, your ass is going down into a mountain. Did you hear me? And who gonna be on an unsuccessful plane? You put your hands up if anybody out there on the airplane, they won't be on a successful plane. Nobody. I mean, come on, people. There is no such rationale that is programmed to force us to not demand more of these teams. We demand more because we funding these teams. We pay for your lights. We pay for those buildings because they don't pay for their own buildings. They don't pay for their own lights. And we give them, you want me to promote your ass and support your ass every step of the way without even saying, oh, well, you need to do this. No, they just ride with everything they say. Man, I'm throwing that shit out of here. The hell with that frame of thinking. That's why we only got one Super Bowl. And I'm trying to get people to wake up. I've been saying that for years, and a lot of people are waking up. Don't let them people control you and make you think that you can't critique this team, even though you're 100%. Now I'm gonna stop it right there. Let me get up out of here. I can go on for a whole hour just blasting on some bitches, but I'm gonna open up the phone lines to the family members and hear what they got to say on this thing. So we got several people in there. We're gonna start it off with Cedric. We got Brother Jerry, and we got K. Scott in the building. We're gonna bring in Brother Cedric. Brother Cedric, welcome to the show, bro. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. What's up, Big Q?
I'm doing good, my friend. How you feel?
Well, I'm still kind of down about that loss, even though he should be used to it by now. Because, each and every year, this happens to us. We get our hopes up. We say, oh, we're a Super Bowl team, which we are. But when it comes to winning in the playoffs, it's like it's non-existent. And if you look at it, the year we won the Super Bowl, we shouldn't even went to the NFC Championship. I mean, went to the bowl. The only reason we went is because of Tracy Porter with that pick six. It was not pick six, with that pick almost at the end of the game. Because if you remember, Big Q, Brett Favre was driving the Vikings down the field and they were in field goal range. They just had a dumb quarterback. Each and every year we get our hopes up with this team, and we get butthurt each and every year. And you know what? As a Saints fan, I'm sick of it. And I've been supporting this team for a long time. Before we had a Drew Brees. There used to be a guy named Bobby Herbert when we went 11-5, and we got kicked out of the first rounds of the playoffs. I know you remember that, Big Q. And that was when Joe Montana was in the division.
Yeah,
we got kicked out of the playoffs.
Yeah, Bobby.
It's like this team does not have what it takes to win in the playoffs. And I think it's because of Sean Payton. He want to sit up here and lollygag and dance with the players and, hit the Sean Payton. You got to cut all that out. You don't see Bill Belichick going up in there hitting no Bill Belichick with his players. You don't see Pete Carroll going up in there hitting no dances with his players. What the hell is we doing sitting up here being division champions for 4 years straight? 4 years straight, we've won the NFC South. And what do we have to show for it besides division championship banners in the Superdome? What does Tom Brady have to show for it? And he didn't even win the division. He's in the Super Bowl. It's like each and every year this team breaks our heart. And then when we talk bad about the team, you're not a true Saints fan. You don't know what you're talking about.
But Cedric, the thing is, you're not talking, and I keep telling people that, you're not talking bad about the team because you're saying that they lost and they didn't do what they were supposed to do. There was no excuse for that type of performance against Tampa Bay. It was no excuse at all.
Exactly. Like, we were better than this team. The depth chart showed we were better than this team. We demolished this team twice, and we've been demolishing their ass for years. And why do we sit up here and lose to them in the playoffs when we have one of the top 5 defenses in the NFL? I mean, they can't do nothing. Like you said, these are veteran guys that have been up there, and they can't stop Leonard Fournette. They couldn't stop him. He running all over the defense. And it's like, we get our hopes up. We expect the Super Bowl. I just realized that since Drew Brees got here, we've been to the playoffs 9 times. 9 times since Drew Brees got to New Orleans. And do you know this man could have been a 9-time Super Bowl champion by now? He could have been a 9-time Super Bowl champion by now. He could have been up there with them, Hall of Fame great quarterbacks. But I mean, the reason people doubt Drew Brees is because he doesn't have the playoffs wins to prove it. But and another thing, Big Q, I want to get your opinion on this. Why do you think people put Aaron Rodgers on this pedestal? And he's been the Saints for the past couple of years since he's got to Green Bay. He's been just like the New Orleans Saints. But people won't sit up there and say, well, the Packers did this, the Packers did this, and they'll get up there and ridicule our Saints each and every year. I just want to get your opinion on that.
I mean, it's a kind of a different environment. Green Bay is known as a title town, man. You know, they won early on. They were like one of the founding teams that was winning championships. Of course, that whole Lombardi thing where they were winning up there, and they're known as, you know, when you start playing old footage from yesteryear's NFL, you can't bypass any footage of the Green Bay Packers, you know, playing against the Kansas City Chiefs and Chicago. You know, those old world teams back in the day. And Green Bay sits on top of that. That NFL foundational championship team is a lot of people see that old school Green Bay Packers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, even the Dallas Cowgirls to a degree, the San Francisco 49ers. They see those teams, multiple Super Bowl winning teams, title town, small town market, you know, an origin point of winning for those small market teams. So when you win in title town, and you go behind a great lineage of quarterbacks, you'd have some really good quarterbacks that played in Green Bay, all the way from Starr down to Favre, and then from Favre to Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers, you know, he took a lot of records down there, and he put himself up there in Green Bay lore. He won a lot of games. I think he got one Super Bowl there. But, you know, at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers wins a lot of games. He's an accurate quarterback, but something missing, too, with Aaron Rodgers. There's something missing about it. Yeah, it's an intensity thing because he can make every throw, but it's an intensity thing. It's something missing there, and I've often known that from Aaron Rodgers' game, you know. And it could be the fact that he needs a change of scenery to go somewhere else to work with somebody else, so he could be able to kind of wake up have that freshness come back to a degree because he's been up there for a long time. So I mean, he's a fantastic quarterback in his own right, but as of recent, he definitely is missing that it. And I'm wondering if it could be a change of environment to go somewhere else and pick it up. But I mean, as you compare the Green Bay franchise to what they've done versus as a whole to what the Saints have done, the Saints have been a team that a lot of people have been making fun of for years. And now currently the commissioner doesn't like it. There's a lot of owners that don't like the Saints. And we kind of brazen, man. We don't really give a you know what. That's how the family base is. You know, to a degree, that's how the ownership is. But you know, a lot of people don't like the black and gold, especially the national media. That's why they paint you in such a dissatisfying light. They'll show footage of teams catching touchdown passes over you. They'll do sneak dissing on you, the national commentators. And there is no national agenda to ingratiate to the New Orleans Saints family base. They cover you when they want to. We'll put you for 4 or 5 minutes here and then talk about the Dallas Cowboys for 10 minutes. We'll fit you in here. We'll fit you in there. I've been saying that for years. There is no incentive to cover the Saints in a favorable light. None. All right, Cedric, you still with me? All right, we seem like I might have lost Cedric. All right, we're going to move on to the next family member there. We got Brother Jerry chiming in. Brother Jerry, welcome to the show, bro.
What's going on, Big Q? Who that to you, my brother?
Who that, Brother Jay? How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm here. I'm sitting here and just enjoying the show and everything you were saying on here. You nailed it, bro.
Thank you, brother.
You had to speak. You were speaking truth, and I'm sure the entire Who Dat Nation reacted to that, especially me because I already felt it.
Right.
You said what you had to say to address it and to make sure everybody get their facts straight.
Yeah, that's a part of it, Brother Jay. I appreciate that, bro. Your support on that.
Anytime, Big Q. And hello to everybody that's in the chat. Who that to everybody. I hope y'all's day is going well and your days are going well as well as mine. And who that to everybody once again. I love each and every one of y'all. Y'all know the OG loves each and every one of y'all, and there's absolutely nothing that y'all can do about it. Yes, I know. Super Bowl Sunday is next Sunday. I get it. We're not in it. We've been eliminated. I understand. But it's time to move on forward. And Big Q, what you were saying about Mickey Loomis waiting on Drew Brees' decision, I can break it to you right now. and everybody in the chat can agree when I say this. Drew Brees, please, from the OG, please retire. Why you gotta wait to a certain day to find out from Drew Brees when he go decide to come back or retire? I could lay it down to you right now. Go ahead and retire. Don't wait. Don't wait till until like Super Bowl Sunday, or don't wait till February or March or April, or while the draft is going on and free agency going on. Don't wait till the last minute. Go ahead and retire now. Right now. I'm serious. Go ahead and retire. Why waste time? You can't wait till like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday, or what. Just retire now. I mean, come on, man. I mean, seriously. Because the man already got a job working with NBC Sports doing commentary to replace Chris Collinsworth. Just focus on that, bruh. And if he even think about coming back, you already know Brittany got a little bit of a WWE style in her. She gonna put a bank statement or a super kick or something on Drew Brees if he decide to come on back. Hell, she even put him in a power bomb if she feel like it.
So okay, he can't do nothing.
They got straight cash, homie. I'm telling you right now. They got all that money. They can do something with it.
Man.
I just had to spill it out, Q. I had to spill it out, man.
Oh, good, brother Jay. Go for it.
Yes, sir. So, cause like I was saying, I was hearing your rant the other night, and they played it back the next day. Big Q, I gotta tell you, bro, you laid down the foundation, bro. I had to give it to you, man, because I was with you on that. Even though I was in the chat, I was with you, brother.
Thank you, brother Jay.
Yes, sir. And like I said, and to everybody, once again, shouts out to everybody by name, whoever you are out there. I love each and every one of y'all once again. Absolutely, because I'm right behind you 100%. Look, there's an old saying: we win together, we lose together. We make it to the playoffs together, we get eliminated together. Winning season, bad seasons, playoffs, Super Bowl or not, we are all in this together. And yes, we know we won 4 straight division titles. Okay, I get it. Yay. But does that help you get to the Super Bowl? Does it help you get to the Super Bowl? No, because we got all these other teams fighting for that same thing that we're fighting for. And you know why. The NFL really hates our guts. I could give it to you in one word, Big Q. And listen to everybody when the OG says this: jealousy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they are not. And there's another word that they're not using when it comes to the New Orleans Saints. They're not using. Y'all get ready for this. Common sense.
There you go.
I'm gonna say that one more time if somebody didn't get it. Common sense. Hello. Ding dong. Hello. Common sense. Because that is exactly what the National Football League, might will call it the National Fine League, because every time you turn around, they always got to fine somebody. It's like the story of Robin Hood, get from the rich to the poor. You already know how that goes.
Yep.
Every time these teams do something good, they here come the Grinches, here come the Scrooges, trying to take everything what you got. And have to pay all that money, and then just snatch it away from you. I'm like, really? Seriously? Wow. I mean, come on, man. Come on, seriously, man. I mean, be reasonable about it, man. Please.
Right, brother Jerry, you're on point, bro.
I'm just giving y'all the facts coming from me. I'm just giving details. because that's what I do. I just like you do, Big Q. I lay down the foundation too. I had to address it so everybody can understand exactly what the New Orleans Saints are going through right now. Yes, we got a major salary cap issue, but all that can be fixed about less than a month because free agency is right around the corner. The new uh, stuff is coming out, I think, in March. I think the new league begins like in March, I think. So we got all this time to clear out everything because look, after I looked at that salary cap, Big Q, it is certified bona fide crazy out there,
Mm-hmm.
bruh.
You ain't lying, bro.
I'm talking about out of your mind crazy.
Yeah. You ain't kidding, bro. It's pretty bad, bro.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is pretty bad, bro, and that's a good reason why we had to plan this off season to get everything back where it needed to be. And
Right.
I'm gonna say this, Big Q, because I know somebody else getting ready to come on, but somebody somebody asked me at church one Sunday. He said, Jared, you need to become a candidate for like a head coaching job for the New Orleans Saints or a GM job. I said that might sound good, but I can't do it. Only thing that I do is support the New Orleans Saints, just like every Saints fan on the chat, just including you, just like everybody else. I support this team 100%, whether they have good seasons, whether they have bad seasons. Yes, I wasn't born yet when they weren't winning a damn thing, when they were wearing paper bags over their head. I heard the stories about it, but see, I didn't become a Saints fan until August of 1996. So I already know the feeling. I already know the feeling about that.
Mm-hmm.
Now everybody else, no, they've been there. Those that been with the Saints since 1967, that's on y'all because y'all been there and y'all done that. I was just learning.
Right. That's some bad times, bro. We demanded better. And the team delivered if they wanted to get our revenue, and they did, bro. And we continue to push that bar.
Absolutely. I had to give me a little drink there. But I had to spit some facts, man. But I had to do that, bruh. But all I can say, Big Q, I think we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. Yes, I understand. I mean, everybody just don't worry. Just 2020 already been gone. This is 2021. Let's focus on what we're doing right now, because looking back is not going to help us get to where we need to be. Yes, 4 straight division titles. I get it, and I understand what the last brother was saying, but I'm gonna speak it for myself. This team is still the best damn NFL team. Period. I don't care what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers say. I don't care what the Carolina Panthers say. I don't care what the Falcons say. I don't care what any other team say. The New Orleans Saints are the best damn team in the NFL. Hello.
Hello.
Let me say that one more time if y'all didn't get it. The New Orleans Saints are the best team in the NFL, period.
That's what I'm talking about. That's we got that, brother J.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I had to come on here and get something off my chest. So I can so the entire Who That Nation can understand exactly what we are dealing with going forward in the future.
That's right. Well, brother Jerry, man, as always, bro, I appreciate your support, passion, and all of your great commentary as usual, my friend. I appreciate you chiming in, bro.
Anytime, Big Q. Like you always say, I'm always welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm always working. I'm here rocking with the sports coma with Big Q and the guys, where we, the Who That Nation, and you have entertaining. Let me cut that off. where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sports talk from your favorite sports family.
You do that pretty good, brother Jay. But I gotta be honest, bro. Most of the entertainment coming from the Great Saint Think Tank, man. They make it easy, man. They real smart, man. Really entertaining people, man.
I understand that, and that's why I always say this all the time when I come on here, Big Q. And to everybody that's in the chat, y'all my MVPs every day. And I said it before. Y'all my MVPs every day. I pray for y'all every day. I thank God for y'all every day because without you guys, I would not be in this position right now. That's why I thank God for each and every one of y'all. Whether we win a game or whether we lose a game, you stood by my side, and I always stay by your side because we are all in this together. We are a big family here. That's why I love each and every one of y'all. And I'm so happy that I was able to come on here and do and address what I had to address so y'all can listen to it so that you can carry on what has to be said. That's why I love each and every one of y'all. And once I said it again, there's absolutely nothing that y'all can do about it. I love you all. Who that to everybody? I love you all.
All right, brother Jay. Appreciate you. Much love to you, my friend. Who that?
For life.
Who that for life, brother Jay? The real OG, man. Brother Jay, Iceman, you hold on right there, bro. I bring you in. You be the last family member of the night. Chime in, but before I cut you in, brother Jerry inspired me to play this little snippet. Y'all probably remember this from back in the day when brother Jerry said pretty much, uh, I want them gone right now. And that made me think about this old commercial. Y'all tell me if y'all remember this old commercial right here that inspired it.
At J.G. Wentworth, we say get cash now for your structured settlement.
J.G. Wentworth? Cash now?
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
J.G. Wentworth is right. It's my money and I need it now.
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 If you have a structured settlement and you need cash now, J.G. Wentworth can help. We'll buy all or part of your structured settlement for a lump sum cash amount so you can pay bills that have piled up as a result of an injury or an inability to work. Call J.G. Wentworth now and speak to one of our structured settlement specialists. You'll get a no-cost appraisal and have all of your questions answered. The call is free and there's no obligation.
It's my money and I need it now.
It's your money.
Jerry said, we want him out of here now. All right, Iceman, what's up, bro? Welcome to the show. How you doing, bro?
Whoa, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, Iceman. How you feeling, brother?
All right. Oh man, I'm doing pretty good, man.
Good deal.
It's kind of hard to come behind the OG, man, for real. Man, I don't know, Q. I've been listening, sitting back and listening to everything everybody was saying. I don't know how I feel about the whole Mickey Loomis, we waiting for Drew Brees thing, man. I don't know about nobody else, but I ain't like how that sounded, man. Like what are we waiting for? I think I'm with the majority. I thought they just wanted Drew back for one more year, man. I ain't think that they was gonna try to have him run it back again, and I don't think that would be even, good to bring him back, especially after all like the injuries that he suffered and stuff like that, the ones that we knew about. And I don't know what this is about the Saints, but we got to stop hiding these injuries and stuff. That's really not, a good look for the whole like organization. Like, not telling people. And I don't even know how Sean Payton get away with doing that. I don't even know how he does that. But I don't know, man. I think this is like one of the worst case scenarios as far as seeing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the Super Bowl and stuff. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Oh yeah, like I don't know. I don't know, man. This playoff, this last playoff, man. I'm kind of coming down off of the anger of it. I'm more in like how do you say the I don't know how many steps, but like the five. I guess it's like the 5 stages of grief and all of that type of stuff.
Hmm.
I'm kind of on the back end of it now. I'm kind of like it's all then settled in now, so I ain't really as mad as I was like the last week though. But man, I don't know, Q. Something gonna have to change. Like we got to do something different. I don't know what needs to change. I can't really put my finger on it, but I remember earlier in the season you were saying you looking at Sean Payton, and you didn't say like what you was looking at. But I wanted to know like in your analysis of him this season and in the postseason, did you find out what you was looking for, or like?
Well, I mean, Iceman, I appreciate that question. What I was looking for to see how he would handle certain circumstances in the season, like I was looking at if he would entrust his offensive coordinator more in calling plays, in which he did not. I think a lot of the issues tied to us fizzling out in the playoffs. We need more of a disciplined approach in the playoffs. Like, getting to the playoffs, let's stop all the little boosting music and all of the future and all that stuff and act like we've been there before. I think we need to take a more disciplined approach going into the postseason based on the postseason failure. So, what I was looking for Coach Payton to do was balance his playbook, in which he did do that. He ran the ball a lot, and the best teams ran it in a long time, which I thought, I think he was forced to adjust to that because the running game was so potent. Wanted to be a little bit more disciplinarian, especially in the playoffs, in which we looked. He pretty much had a similar approach to last year, and and a lot of people thought that the talent was the issue, is why we didn't go this year. I can't say that. I can't say the talent was the issue. We had high paid players that let us down. So when that type of stuff happened, and you pay those players that kind of way because of the experience that they're supposed to represent in high pressure situations like the playoffs. The playoff pressure is ratcheted up sevenfold because of the finality of the moment. Meaning, if you make too many mistakes, you could be eliminated. The Saints made too many mistakes. Not just talking about the turnovers, but the plays that led up to the turnovers. The fundamental breakdown, it's some different things there, but I was looking at him to be a guy that trusts his assistants a little bit more in terms of offensively speaking, turning the playbook over, him becoming more of an overseer. Because truly, if you think about it, he's not really a head coach. I mean, he'll come out and talk to the media and all that kind of stuff. But when they get down to brass tacks, he's more of an offensive coordinator than he is a head coach. He pays attention to the offense more than he pay attention to the defense, more than he pay attention to the special teams. And you were supposed to give each one of those areas each a standard or a balanced amount of time to oversee it, and that's not what he's doing. He's
That's
paying
true,
attention to the
Q.
offense more than any other things, and that's not what a head coach does. Not a successful one.
Hmm.
He's supposed to be overseeing every aspect of that, and you can't do that as a coordinator calling plays and talking to offensive personnel, making sure they understand it. All this kind of stuff. No, turn that over to the offensive coordinator that you had with you for 10 plus years. Allow Pete Carmichael, who's a pretty good offensive coordinator, understanding Sean Payton's principles and his scheme. Turn it over to him and allow him to be the true offensive coordinator. I mean, call the plays to be what an offensive coordinator does. And I think that's a major part, besides the discipline that's hurting his team. He didn't exhibit that. He refuses to relinquish the play calling sheet to the offensive coordinator. And he in defense, and when we get to the playoffs, the discipline it's not there. It has to be understood that you cannot be allowed to drop passes in the playoffs or that starts in the preseason into the in the regular season into the postseason. If you instill that in them during the regular season, then we won't have those type of issues in the postseason. So it's those certain things because they're gonna say we ain't have the talent, or it's the referees, and they can't say none of that. So a lot of people stuck right now on why did we fail? Why did we fail? I'm telling y'all, it's a combination of Sean Payton has to try some. He has to give up the play call and do this and become more disciplined. I promise you, if he does that and start punishing players for dropping interceptions, punishing players for missing tackles, punishing players for going to the club and not, and after they had the biggest game of their career, to celebrate when you're not supposed to do that. Punish them, like really punish them, not just, it just, I mean, stuff like that. We have to be able to do that, and he's not doing that, man. And you're gonna keep getting to the playoffs because we content with getting to the playoffs. Many of us are just happy to get into the playoffs, and a lot of people's like, nah, bro, playoffs ain't enough. You have to win in the playoffs. You have to get to you got to at least get to the Super Bowl. At least get there and then try to win the Super Bowl. At least get to the Super Bowl. Because people say win the Super Bowl. I say just get there and try to win it. But we are falling woefully short of the mark consistently year after year. So what other excuses are the excuse letters are going to say to appreciate Deshaun Payton's futility? What are they going to say now? That I'm stretching the truth here? Oh yeah, you stretching the truth. Sean Payton know what he's doing. Yeah, he know what he's doing. He know how to get a team to the playoffs and lose in the playoffs. Yeah, he know how to do that. I'll give you that. But winning in the playoffs to get to the Super Bowl, that's a problem he has. I don't think he cures that until he has opportunity to replace certain offensive assistants. Let's see what kind of offensive assistants that he bring in there. Could he bring some fresh-eyed guys in there that can come in, people that he can bring in, or veteran guys who can come in there and challenge his authority, offensively speaking? I mean, say that you need to turn over the play calling sheet to Carmichael so you can be a real head coach and oversee your entire team. If it's 100%, then split that up in 33% or whatever it is. If you cut it up 3 ways, that's how much you're supposed to be paying attention to every aspect of each team, special teams, defense, and offense, each equally. And we're not doing that. So, I mean, that's part of it. But go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, I was about to say, no, I was going to add, he definitely not doing that because you can't be paying attention to the defense and letting P.J. Williams find his way back every single offseason. I don't know how you find his way back. Craig Crawley, Willerby, all of these. I mean, come on, bruh.
Right.
Like, you can't be paying attention. But I was gonna say, like, I was having a discussion with a buddy of mine, and I wanted to know, like, I wanted to ask you, like, how do you like respond to Buccaneers fans or anybody that's saying like, yeah, you guys won a division, but you didn't win a Super Bowl, and do you think like it's a hit to the legacy of Drew Brees and Sean Payton, like they're constantly losing in the playoffs and stuff like that? Like, do you think that kind of stains their legacy every time they lose?
True football people would say that remember the game to know how it exactly ends. Probably will say yes, but for the rest of the people, as history, as time passes, a lot of people, except for people that pay attention to the game, will say it tarnished them. But regular people that's not thinking like that, they're gonna say it doesn't. And as time proceeds, the questions asked about Peyton Manning. You know, did it tarnish Peyton Manning's legacy that he won 2 Super Bowls, but he took him a while to get there because he was a regular season champ, but he was Mr. Mediocre in the playoffs. Did that tarnish his Peyton Manning's legacy? A lot of people would say no, but true football people would say to a degree it does. Because even though he was stackpiling those records in the regular season, he was not successful as he was supposed to be in the postseason. And that's a part of the game. It's like the greatest quarterback's supposed to rise to that environment because it's all or nothing. And we had a lot of mediocre play. So long term, a lot of people are going to throw up the games, how many games they won, because you will have people that's just going to use what they want to justify their standpoint, whether it's true or not. And it's like, I look at it like chess. If I make a move and I checkmate you, the only thing you can do is turn over the board and throw the pieces on the floor and start a new game. There is no move after I checkmate you. You didn't say, no, I checkmate you, Mo. No. You checkmated. That means game over with, which means if I tell you that the Saints over the last 4 years have won more games than anybody. They've won 49 games in the last 4 seasons. My checkmate chess move on your ass would be, how many Super Bowls did you win? And of course, a person who would be humble and say, you know what, that's absolutely right. Regular season victories don't mean nothing unless you add Super Bowl titles to them, because even the coaches and players will tell you, we don't play for that. That's a part of it. But the ultimate stat is how many Super Bowls did you have? How successful were you getting to the Super Bowl during that time frame? Now, in certain, the Saints have dominated the NFC South 4 straight years. Point of fact, check this out. They've dominated the NFC South 4 straight years. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan will come in here and say, that's true. You dominated the NFC South a record 4 straight times. How many Super Bowl rings did you did? And our guy, Tom Brady, comes here, piecemeals a team together. In 1 year, you win the division. You get your NFC Super Bowl, NFC South banner. We beat you in the playoffs, knock you out of here, and now we're in the playoffs, a Super Bowl. We're in the Super Bowl, and you won all that shit. That quantifies everything that I've been saying year after year after year about these mythical NFC South crowns. They're banners that nobody cares about. The team uses it as a way to see. See, we've had success, but the true success is winning a Super Bowl. The ultimate trophy in professional football is the acclamation, the gaining, the winning of the biggest trophy in the sport, which is the Super Bowl title. That ring, that is what they play for if they're good players or great players. They want a Super Bowl ring and to be in a rarefied air, multiple rings. Then you could be put into those Hall of Fame teams levels where you just it wasn't just a rarity for you to get one. No, you were able to get multiple ones to prove your dominance. But see, that's not the case. So that's what I'm telling you, is that those things don't mean nothing without the ultimate crown, which is the trophy or the ring. That's what it comes down to. And far too often, people have to understand that. And the players and the coaches will tell you that. The ultimate trophy at the end of the day is winning the Super Bowl title. That's what they put them on for. That's why people pay players hundreds of millions of dollars to get trophy, because they want to get to the ultimate, to what they call football heaven, is the Super Bowl and winning the crown. Tom Brady's been there 10 times. He's won 6 and working on his 7th one. You see? So the reality is, people cannot, and I'm glad, I'm not glad it happened, but that's the negative. The positive out of it is, see what I've been saying about NFC South crowns? And Tampa Bay was the perfect example of what I've been visualizing and trying to tell the people for years, is the fact that you dominated the NFC South, then get dominated in the playoffs by a team you beat by double digits twice. You get knocked out of the playoffs. Said team, who was a meal piece together team, then moved past you into the Super Bowl to represent the NFC South, where you were supposed to be the champions. So in essence, you was a faux champion. In essence, you was a fake dummy, dialed down, watered down, paper crown ass team, because it was Super Bowl or bust. Everybody knew that was the moniker when they started lacing them up before the season started. You are a paper champion. You are a paper tiger. That's what this is. And you put all the chips to the table, and you got Tampa Bay took all your chips and had you running out the casino mad and crying. But the reality is, that's the hardcore reality of what we facing. And I've been saying that. It's not about those damn old paper town NFC South crowns. It's the hell about it. I would give all 4 of those worthless ass titles back just to have the opportunity to switch places with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. All 49 of those wins that we had in the regular season. And who's with me in the Great Saint Think Tank? Who agrees with me? Put 1 in the chat, family. If y'all agree with me that you would trade every last one of them 49 victories that you had in 4 years just to play in 1 Super Bowl right now. Who would give that up? Put 1 in the chat if you would give up 49 regular season wins over the last 4 years just to play in one Super Bowl. Who's with me on that? So I mean, it's what it is, Iceman. But I'm gonna let you finish your point, bro. All right, look like we lost the Iceman. All right, appreciate you, Iceman. Iceman dropped out as well. Okay, we got Brother K. Scott. We kind of lacking for time. We got about 5 minutes or so left for Brother K. Scott. I'm gonna get you in there. All right, Brother K. Scott, welcome to the show, my friend.
What's going on, my brother Big Q? How you doing today, man?
I'm doing great, my friend. How you feeling?
Oh, a little bit on the weather. Got a little coughing up, but that's besides the point. It's man, I had to take a week or so before I could talk to y'all, my brother, because that game against Tampa Bay really put me down. Like, it's really how, you know what? Honestly, everybody been talking about Drew Brees. He probably not. He's a great quarterback, but he can't get over the threshold. I'm like you. I'm starting to look. I've been ready to look at him. I'm ready to trade Sean Payton. I'm ready to trade Sean Payton for can we trade Sean Payton with Pittsburgh or Mike Tomlin? Cause I think we need a new voice. We need a new voice. We need somebody who's not only a voice, but somebody who have that pressure and who is hungry for it. I truly believe that Sean Payton know that he is almost like a god here in New Orleans because by bringing us our only Super Bowl. So it's almost like he fell into a place of contentment. We need somebody hungry. We need somebody who played the game like chess instead of checkers. We're just gonna do the same old regular ass screens every day. We're gonna do the same old sharp plays. No, Bill Belichick is the coach what he is because he played chess every time you look at that game. But they think that we're gonna do this, so we're gonna do something else. As soon as they figure out we're gonna do something else, we're gonna hit them with this. And that's how you play this game. That's how you win. And that's our only problem. Like we do good, like you said, we do great in the regular season. But it seems like once that playoffs go, it's almost like you see a cloud of doubt come over the team. It's amazing. You can actually see it as a Saints fan. You actually see that cloud of doubt coming on there because we've been like this. We've been going through this. We've been going through this shit ever since Bounty. Be honest with you. Ever since that bullshit Bounty happened, when they so-called saying that we was headhunting teams and stuff, when none of this shit was false, and the media still don't want to rephrase that. They still want to call it Bounty, even though no evidence proved that we did that. We had the least penalties during that year, all that. Bounty, and this was a coach trying to spark up his team. He probably got a little robbed, but that's anybody who play ball. Bro, I had some coaches,
bro. Not to cut you off, K. Scott, but that's 100% accurate, bro. Because and I've said that countless times on the show. The media will not update that thought process. They will not. They will continue to allow it to be like delayed, like Bountygate was actually proven. The NFL recanted that. They've apologized to the Saints, and they still won't fix that narrative. It's like when Martin Luther King Day. What happened with Martin Luther King, and they saying that guy shot Martin Luther King. Who they say they shot him. They had a trial, man. They had a trial that came up. You can actually Google this. It's ABC News of all people. Showed that they had a trial for the real assassin, and then the court found the real assassin guilty. And it said that happened. And I try to post that article every Martin Luther King birthday because people still saying it's the guy that shot him. Martin Luther King's son went there and talked to the man. He said that guy didn't shoot him. They had a trial with the King family there, and they won a what you call it? They won a court award when they won the trial, and it proved that that guy wasn't a shooter, and they made the real shooter who did it, and they paid and they awarded the King family $1. Look that up, but they keep running because they keep running the same. And I'm telling you, that's why it's good for people like us to be able to put that out in the collective, and you keep that and you go look that up and you spread that around so that we fix that, because that Bountygate stuff was refuted and the NFL apologized to the Saints. They never gave you draft picks back or any monetary compensation, by the way. But they apologized to you and kicked it out. But for whatever reason, they spin in the same narrative. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, and 1,000% right. And you know what? It seemed like we got a nasty stigma. It's almost like we marked for failure, and I don't know why. I don't know why they hate us. Like the disrespect they show us to our defense, the disrespect they show us to our offensive team. Even though we got great players, now they're trying to say that Michael Thompson might be a problem right now. They might trade him. Why the hell you want to trade such a great weapon as Michael Thompson? Michael Thompson is the new age Chris Carter. When you need a receiver who's gonna get you a first down, make a tough catch, or make a tough touchdown in the red zone, that's your guy. Now you need your go-getter. You need your Randy Moss or somebody, or like a Megatron, but you got your guy that to game in, game out, he gonna be there, he gonna show up and show out. And I'm getting tired of these, like you said, I'm really starting to hate watching my sports shows because I love watching sports shows like First Take and all that, but they will kiss and suck everybody else ass, but give us 30 seconds on the Saints. Every time. I'll be like, damn, bro, we could stomp a mud hole in somebody. We could beat, I told the guy, we could beat Tom Brady next year by 80 points. The first thing gonna say, oh, what he did wrong. What? What he did wrong? Why about what we did right? We pay our players just like they pay his old sorry ass. But Tom Brady is I swear to God, this dude got to be one of the most luckiest people in the world because if anybody watched that game, that's two games back to back where the other team let his ass off the hook. 2 games back to back. 2 games back to back. When Michael Thompson, I didn't know how hurt he was with his ankle. I really commend that brother, coming out there trying to win one for his quarterback. I really do. I didn't realize how hurt he was on that ankle. That man need multiple surgeries. That is serious. That's almost career threat because your whole legs is your career. If you can't run your routes, you done. But when he missed out on that touchdown, it took away our other touchdown for the kickoff return. I said we was in for a bad deal. And then when I watched the Green Bay game, me and my partner, we would watch the Green Bay pick, hoping that Green Bay could pull it off. When Devontae Adams missed that touchdown, I said, oh, you cannot play with that boy with mistakes because, unfortunately, I hate Tom Brady, but he's almost like the old San Antonio Spurs. You got to beat him. He's not going to beat himself.
Right.
You got to beat him. He's not going to beat himself. So if you come out there doing stupid shit, making stupid moves, stuff like that, to me, that Tampa Bay game, honestly, I love Drew Brees. But I would love to see Jameis Winston out there play that whole game. I think he would have came out there with so much more because you saw when he threw that touchdown, he wanted to stay in it. He wanted to stay in it. He wanted some more shots at the team because think about it, that's his old team saying that you ain't good, you ain't no worthy and nothing. It's almost like him telling the whole league, you forgot I was #1 pick. You forgot I was a Heisman Trophy winner. You forgot that even though I was at that team right across the field, I went through 5 coaches and numerous round of coordinators. I never had a shot that boy at Tom Brady shot.
Mm-hmm.
I never had the clock that he had. So I believe that would have been, I truly believe that would have been Jameis Winston game to show up and show out. But Sean Payton, he is what he is. He love who he love. He gonna keep the people in who he so-called have a relationship and love instead of playing chess on the field. Because you know what? I know Drew Brees hurt. I know you got a torn cup. I know you still not healed from all your rib injuries. I know you got something going on with your foot. You know what? I'm gonna let the young lion come in there. You rest for one more game. Yeah, put like this. I'll put you on the side. If I need you, I'll put you in. But he act like he's so loyal and so loving. You could be loyal and loving to a fault. You could be loyal and loving to a fault, and that's the part that kills us. But I've been listening to you the whole time, Q. I want to call in, but the way that you've been speaking so much truth for the last week or so about the game, I had nothing else to comment. Like I was agreeing 100% on you. But now it's time for us to look forward. We got a hell of a core. And time for us to build on top of that core, give some of those young guys a shot. Taysom Hill, he good, but he not that. I truly believe more in Jameis Winston than Taysom Hill. I truly do. I truly believe more in Jameis Winston than Taysom Hill because Jameis Winston, he already showed me when he was a young boy that he took a team on his back to the championship. And put like this, if you give him you give him the right pieces and the right coaching right now, he could do it again. So I'd rather go with Jason. I'd rather go with Jameis Winston than anybody. Then what's that? Deshaun Watson, I would love him. I would love that boy. But we will have to really gut ourselves of some key players and some key draft picks that could keep this thing going for the next 10 years for us to get them. We're gonna be taking 2 steps forward and 3 steps back if we do that. That's not worth it. I don't want no damn Matthew Stafford because he like damaged goods. Aaron Rodgers, he cried too much. And the only person out there would be Dak Prescott, but he gonna want a ton of low money. So our best bet right now is for us to rebuild from this day forward. Drew Brees, it's time for you to go on to the sunset, baby. Let's go into the sunset. Get into the announcer boots for NBC. I know you're gonna do great there. You're gonna do great and wonderful things. We appreciate you for everything that you've done, not just for the team, but for the community of New Orleans. We truly appreciate everything that you've done for us, man. You've been a stellar, been an awesome man, an awesome father figure, an awesome player, and an awesome representative of the New Orleans Saints. So it's time for you to go on and time for somebody else to walk in and take that mantle and walk it on. He basically said on the field, he passes James Winston, but it's up to the coaches and the GMs and everybody who going to listen to this man and say, look, it's time for me to pass on. Leave me alone. Let me go on, because he getting hurt too much. And he wanna live the second half of his life in good health, not be one of the players that he played too long and now he's suffering for all the pains and stuff because he didn't know how to get out before he got hurt. How you feel about that, Big Q?
I think it's excellent, man. I mean, you said everything that was well to be said, bro. I mean, that's the reality at the end of the day. That's well said. I mean, we have to keep it real and look at the facts. And stuff have to be done differently, man. We have to be able to do this stuff differently. Sean Payton most certainly has to be able to turn the play calling duties over. And now the team is gonna take a step back a bit because we're gonna lose quite a few talent there as
Yeah.
well. So I mean, we have to remember that, man. We got to be able to remember that's a major part of why we've been having issues, is that we're not making the proper adjustments at the top. And of course, the discipline angle is like I've been saying, this is nothing new. I've been saying about the discipline angle for some time, man. To be honest with you, I've been saying that for a time. The reality is that we have to be able to go to that.
That's true. That's true.
We have to be able to execute that. We have to implement that change. But the question, like the Iceman asked me earlier, he asked me, says, Q, did you see what you was looking for Coach Payton? I said, nah, we'll have to see if he had the ability to make the necessary moves from an internal standpoint. And there was some progress, but obviously not enough. I mean, the ego aspect has to play a part. You got to be more of a disciplinarian. You can't simply allow the team to govern itself. I mean, certain players can do that, but not the entire team. You still have to, be over the team and with your notebook writing down when they're missing. I've seen too many missed tackles. I've seen a lot of dropped interceptions in the playoff. The game against the Bucks, it was too sloppy. And home field is home field. According to home field's supposed to help you. Home field didn't help the Saints do a damn thing in the playoffs. So we need to forget about home field. Home field don't mean nothing in this C virus age. It doesn't mean anything. So I mean, we got to be able to remember that, man. That I think do he do that? And I keep saying there's nobody challenging him to change it up. He's gonna keep switching up the roster. And listen, we're gonna have a weaker roster than what we had last year. And let's make that understood before we go into next year. Not trying to drop your expectations, but I'm trying to also make you guys understand that we're gonna have a significantly less talented roster than what we had this past season. We had some real hitters on there. We talking Hall of Famers that might not be coming back, like Drew, Tommy Morstead. I mean, some top-notch people. You know what I'm saying? We have some talent. And some of these veterans we might have to release them. And these are some solid people because of the cap. So we're going to be weak in a degree. But the issue is, can we remain strong enough to contend for a fifth straight time? Or should we give a rat's about trying to win the NFC South again? But I'm going to give you the flow for the remaining comment, my brother. So we can get to moving on from the show. But I appreciate you chiming in. You got the flow, Brother Scott.
Yes, sir. I agree with you totally, man. I believe we're going to be, we might be weak, but you never know. It might be a surprise, bro. We might find some gems out there that's on our team already who just was looking for a shot. Or some people just looking for a shot, like Callaway. Callaway was a player, I believe if we give him a shot, he's going to show that he's the type of player that you could actually put in that core. And I believe we got some players like that on our team, on our back end, that we just need to give them a shot and just knowing that, you know what, we're going to let you run with the ball. We're going to let you run with the flow. But like you said, 100%, it's all start with the head coach. It all start with head coach. Time for Sean Payton to have a so-called reality check. The things that you were doing back in 2006, 2009, 2010, whatever, is not going to cut no more. You got to evolve. The only way you stay a winner, you got to evolve with yourself. And we got to stay involved. He got to stay involved as a player, knowing that the only true attack is a balanced attack. The only time you're a real head coach when you control the whole team. And he come from a stock with Parcells, because Parcells was a head coach. He controlled the whole team. And nothing that went on with that team that he didn't know about and he didn't control. So you got to control that whole team. Step back and being a so-called play caller. That offensive line, not your OC call the plays, and let your DC call the plays, and you just be the overseer. Make sure that you know what you step back and look back and see, okay, tighten up on your cornerbacks. Tell them he needs to start playing more press and less slack. Tell him to press up by 2 more yards instead of pressing 5 yards back. At this time, he got to be a coach. He got to be a coach. You can't be no star. The only stars out there in this game right now, one playing the Super Bowl, the other one is Belichick, because they got 6 championships to prove it. They're the 2 stars right now. And that boy Patrick Mahomes, he is a star. But if you're not winning on a constant basis, you're not a star. You're a good player. You're a great coach. You're a great player, great show, but you're not a superstar. You're not what the lead is concentrating on. And somehow we are not that because of the media. I don't know why they hate us, but it is what it is. They just keep on hating us. But if we do what we're supposed to do, listen to us, the family, those who truly, truly, truly care about the Saints, those who truly love the Saints, those of us who spend our hard damn money that we truly do not get paid enough, our hard damn money to finance the team, to support the team, to be at the team, be at the team's all the team's events, tailgating everything for the team. The one that we take lashes, when our team do well, and we talk shit when our team do right. If you listen to us and listen to the people and use the people around you who are intelligent, who are gonna be real with you, if you use them people and start developing the team like it's supposed to, then we can have a great championship team. But until then, all you're gonna be is a low class Jerry Jones. You just want shit your way and don't want another way and refuse to adapt to anybody else. And if we could send your ass back to Dallas with that shit if you're gonna be like that. We need a coach who's going all about is winning. If you're not about winning, you need to get your ass on to another team. And that's go for him too as well. Well, Big Q, I ain't gonna hold you up because I know you're ready to go on get with your family and stuff. I know you want to close the arguments, man. I truly appreciate your time, man. I thank all the other brothers like Axe, man, Uncle Jerry, all them, man. I appreciate all the brothers for the knowledge they were speaking and stuff, man. I appreciate my brothers, your brothers like DC, Sway, all them brothers. I truly appreciate y'all, all y'all that not only that y'all keep us entertained, but y'all keep spinning knowledge upon knowledge upon knowledge, not only with your head, but with your heart, about how we could improve not only as a Saints team, but as a Saints nation, how we could keep improving that. So, man, I truly appreciate you, brother. I thank you for the opportunity, bro. And that's that's why I keep on supporting your thing, bro, and want you to keep growing until we have a platform that if the media don't want to give it a platform, we're gonna create our own platform to put the Saints out there on the pedestal that we're supposed to be. That's how I feel about that. But I'm gonna go ahead and say who that to the family, man. I just appreciate your time, my brother. Truly do.
Thank you, K. Scott. Appreciate you. Same back to you, man. Much love to you, my brother. Thank you for the great words in the comments, bro. And who that?
Who that?
All right, that's brother K. Scott, man. Chiming in, great calls from the family members today, man. Great and beautiful calls, man. And listen, another fantastic show by the Sports Coma and the family members, the Who Dat Nation, the Great Saint Think Tank, 2.5 hours. Family, and just to let the family know a bit of a programming note, we will be back tomorrow as we will cover more news, notes, and items. We will open up the phone lines for some more therapeutic sessions for those who still need a bit of a therapy dealing with after the fact that the Saints were unceremoniously marched out of the playoffs. It's been over a week now, right? And a lot of family members still dealing with that. And listen, it's not gonna go away in a week. Some of us will be able to slide it back and rationalize it. But talking about it like this is an attempt, we get frustrated because we're trying to find some answers. We're trying to find answers to what's going on. And I kind of calmed down after the fact, but I've been watching this team over the last several years, and I've been noticing, small micro fractures that have been occurring that I've been steadily reporting on, but a lot of people tend to overlook those things and say, oh, he got it. But I keep saying, no, listen, it's not big cracks just don't pop up. They start off real small, itty bitty, and then over time, when people not paying to them, they grow to be big. And that's what it is. Big problems, little things that occurred that built up to a point where they're now big. You can't leave that kind of stuff unchecked. And now as a result, a lot of the failures are occurring because we're not fixing the microfractures. We're too busy enthralled in other pursuits like picking up and uplifting the talent level of the team. And it should be the discipline. Even if you have a team that wasn't as talented as the Saints was this past season, if they were more disciplined, they'd still be playing in the playoffs. I promise you that. And we just going to keep moving forward, and we're going to keep our eyes and our minds focused on the future. So we're going to keep it going. But like I said, I'm going to caution the entire Who Dat Nation and the Great Saint Think Tank about this is the most talented team. I've been on record for saying that. This rendition. You probably won't get another talented team like that for at least another several seasons. You're up against the cap. Not to mention you have to restructure and outright release very talented players that have earned their money, but you simply can't afford them, and you will have to go with cheaper players, cheaper, less talented players to get it done. Do you get it done in this upcoming season? Depends on the movements you're making, and I'm talking not in terms of personnel. At first, I'm talking about up here. This is the same question that I've been asking over the last several seasons. Did we learn anything from this playoff loss? If anybody remember me keep posing this question, because I was saying this last year and the year before that, are we learning anything from these losses? Obviously, we're saying we need more talent, and we get the talent, we still losing. So it's not the talent's not the issue here. I keep saying that it's a discipline issue. You have to fix that. Do Coach Payton have that ability to self-scout himself, really self-scout himself to the point where he is able to say, you know what, I need to turn over this here so I can focus on being an actual head coach. I've been saying that, give up your play call and do this to Carmichael. Do you see him actually doing that, or do he egotistically and greedily hold on to that Waffle House play sheet like he about to order a meal at Waffle House? I need the menu. I won't see it too, coach. You get the small menu. No, I mean, but do he have those mechanisms? Do he have those mental and spiritual mechanisms where he can do that? He's very egotistical. I've been saying that. The older he gets, the less discipline he gets. We've been seeing that with the teams are performing and winning and getting to the playoffs. But when we get there, we demand the teams to win the Super Bowl. And then people say, well, you just being greedy, or you being spoiled because you won a Super Bowl ring. It's totally ridiculous. But anyway, I'm going to clock out on that. I thank you guys for joining us for this episode. We'll be back tomorrow with more Saints talk. We'll open up the chat again so we can hear from you guys as we move forward. And we'll cover some more news, notes, and items. And I'd love to hear from you guys on next show. We'll be on air tomorrow about 3 hours or more tomorrow. And I thank Sway to pop in as well. So thank you guys for popping in this thing. Much love to you guys. And I'll see you on the next one. Who Dat Take?
Yeah. Well, all right. Like you always say, welcome, welcome, welcome. #1 sports talking D. We ain't like the Falcons, we won't blow the lead. Look, all we talk is who that, who got cut and who back. Rookies in the vets, players you should look at. It's the sports coma, you don't wanna miss it. Got the pre-game, party, post-game statistics. Get a visit from Sway, maybe DC or 5. It's the hottest thing smoking, Big Q and the guys. Go to YouTube Live, make sure you subscribe. Interviews inside the Saints locker room high. Talk to Drew, Jordan, Zach, Peyton, New Orleans, Who Dat Nation. Best believe when I say we bleed gold and black. Ain't a miracle or rivalry could ever hold us back. No, Beastquake, Bounty Gate, let the truth be told. It's the sports coma, all we know is Saints Super Bowl. Yeah.